Hoping everything's working as it should be.
It won't be, but
Probably not. Hey ho! It says we're live, so welcome back, everyone. It's been nice to have a little bit of a chat before we start. Nice to see everyone again. There's a decent amount of recap to go on here, so I'll just dive right into it, really. So, we're in the middle of combat. Last session, you guys were traversing across the mountains of the Great Divide after having raided a Minotaur encampment that was set up to break a prisoner out of the Black Cell, the most notorious prison cell in Aleria. You raided the encampment, you killed every single one of the Minotaurs, the demons, the Spine Devils, to the last man with some incredible spell work, some lovely walls of fire, and it was really creative and I loved it. There was one creature left, the Vorzarok, Zarok? I can't remember what I said it was. Either or, the Vorzarok, aka the Ember Titan, as you would call it in the common tongue, which was the creature that was holding back the weather, the snow, the blizzards in the high mountains. And you went through their notes, you discovered some information which, Velios, now I'll actually be able to tell you here as well. The way they were getting up into the mountains was through the Hell's Gate, which is something I forgot, so I need to kind of jiggle that in there. The Hell's Gate was the ship that they were using. So there would have been some conversation about that, but I forgot about it, so it's here now. We'll have some conversations about that later, I'm sure. The Hell's Gate was shipping people into the mountains. You've solved that issue, and the Melungor, the beast who is very territorial, lives upon the snowy mountains in the Great Divide, has come after you. He's hunted you down. He doesn't like you being in his territory, and you engaged in a battle. You waded your way through. You entrenched yourself down at the bottom of the cliff, and waited for the Melungor to close in. The storm has kind of surrounded you guys from left, right, and centre, and you're now in the eye of the storm, where the Melungor, a large white fur creature. I'll show the art up for you guys again for those that have missed it, because I love this piece. As it's shown there, it's got like one singular cyclops eye that's just kind of glowing with this electrical energy at all times, and you've seen it before in the fight shoot lightning from it, and it's got this mane of lightning, and you're in the eye of the storm that this creature is controlling. You've been fighting it for a while. The fight was not going. I was going fine, actually. I don't really know why Velios pulled out. Well, why Janus pulled out his final trick so early on in the battle. However, Janus, he revealed that he knew something about the Hellish Soul Stones that you found out about in the notes in the Minotaur encampment. And he used the Hellish Soul Stone that he found to absorb the Ember Titan into the rock. And you've now seen him pull out his flaming Hellish longsword. And you've seen a gem inside the hilt you've never seen before. It looks exactly like the Hellish Soul Stone that he found in the Minotaur encampment. And now, Janus has suddenly turned into this large, demonic suit of armour. Glowing red eyes. It looks like it's kind of been melted in the fires of hell a little bit. And he seems not to be acting like himself. And we've had a couple of rounds of combat where this particular creature appears to have come through from wherever it was on quite weak. It was low on health. You know, its fire that was burning in the sword was not as effective as maybe it will be when it gets to full power. And it's still growing. The creature's still growing. The armor is still repairing itself, and it's still getting used to speaking properly. Hence why its voice might be different this week. So that's about where we've come to. We've just come around to the top of the round combat, where it would have been Janus. However, Janus is not in the combat turn order because Janus is being controlled by me for a little bit. So we'll have some fun with that. So, Velios, you're over here in the difficult terrain of the snow, scrambling around. What are we going to do? We'll just delve right into it.
Alrighty. How far away? Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
One thing I did forget to mention, sorry, just so people know what's going on in the fight
go
at the moment. The armor currently has some fiery chains that it's kind of extending out with one arm. around the Melungor that have been chaining it in place for the past 2 or so turns. It seems to be locked down quite tight. And yeah, that's kind of currently the scene at the moment. And you can see the positions on the map. So yes,
I need to roll initiative.
you will actually. Yeah, you'll need to roll an initiative because Beleric, having not been here last week, was messing with some lights in the corner. Yeah,
Having a goofy fun time.
roll as an initiative.
Well, that's about right. That's very representative.
Uh,
5.
5? Okay, lovely. Yeah, Belaric's managed to wade through the snow. It's a little bit too tall for him, It's taken him a while.
Ruins my boots.
But lovely. Belaric's arrived. Sorry, Velios, let's go. What is your turn?
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm gonna move 30 feet towards Belarus. There.
Yeah.
Why won't it let me?
You've moved on my
Should
screen.
just- Oh, great. Wonderful.
That'll be the internet.
Yep. It'll reload for me in a second. Yeah, gonna get out in front of Belarus, and then I'm going to just pull out my short bow, because last time I got close to this guy, he was very, very scary,
Yes,
and
he
we can't
was.
be having that. So I'm just going to shoot him, quite frankly.
Go for it. Yes, it seems like the attention of the group, Beleric, for your information, has kind of been now centered around to this new creature that's here. He's been attacking you guys, and he seems to be the new focus for you guys at the moment. Everyone seems to kind of start ignoring the Melungor, so take that as you will.
It's chained down. It's nothing worrisome. However, this thing most very definitely is, which is why that's a nat 20.
Starting out off strong. Go for it. Roll your attacks.
Yep. So I believe this is maxed out because Eric is within 5 feet of this guy, correct?
I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure what you did last. You used Chill Touch last, which isn't a
Because
touch spell, is it?
I think he went right at Eric, but I can't remember when that was. Was that
Yeah, I think they were attacking me,
just
but
happened?
Yeah, they were just attacking you, and they missed pretty much every attack because of the disadvantage that was imposed upon them.
Yes, because of my panache. I told him to get over here. He didn't listen, but
yes.
it was quite distracting.
Yes. So
in
Go
which
for
case,
it.
if he's within 5 feet, I get sneak attack. So I believe under your crit rules, that's maxed out,
you max
and then I roll
everything,
again.
and then you roll everything again. Yes, big numbers. That's
Lovely.
what we like to see.
Yep.
It's
So
reflected in the health pool of the monsters, but we don't need to talk about that.
maths.
We all need to have like cameras pointing at where we roll the dice, so Michael can just
Yeah.
like, instantly calculate it all.
I'll do the maths for you.
Yep. That is 64 points of piercing damage.
Interesting.
It is non-magical, however.
Also interesting. 64?
64.
Okay.
Zoo Lane. Anyone watch that 64 Zoo Lane? Sorry, carry on.
I knew the person who voiced it.
I mean, I've heard the term. Yeah, your short bow, you kind of cock it and it flies straight towards the suit of armor, and it digs. It kind of like spins, and like when a bullet hits like some metal, it kind of like spreads it out in ripples a little bit. The arrow kind of does that, and it like spreads the armor out, it ripples, and then pierces a little bit into the armor, but it doesn't seem to have the effect that you were looking for. But it definitely has done damage to it as the creature. He lets out a groan and kind of like sags slightly. The flames in his sword dim a little bit, and the fire in his wings that have spread out from his back also, they dim slightly.
And then I'm going to take one of the flasks of holy water, one of my 2 remaining that's on my belt, and just sweep it up and into the hilt of my rapier as I drop the bow for the second. And
Lovely. Eric, then.
Okay. This might not work, but I'll try it. I am going to look at the Melungor. I've been trying to punch it, and it's not been working too well. I'm going to try and polymorph it into a slug, so that we
Melungor?
can deal with. Pardon?
The Melungor.
No, I'm going to try and polymorph the demon into a slug so that we can deal with them one at a time.
Okay.
So it would be a wisdom save from them, DC
Okay.
17.
And you start to cast the spell, and you release it at the armor, and it just splashes over the creature, and unfortunately has no effect on the armor.
Okay, in which case I take my fist at the clouds like an old man and get ready to get hit. That is, I will teleport 5 feet to the right, and I think that's moved there. So I've
Okay.
used my little teleport thing.
You can go 30
And that's
feet
my
away,
turn.
you know.
I can, but the teleport thing means I take half damage, and I think I'm going to be taking a lot of hits.
Ooh, lovely. Yeah, so it's the Melungor's turn. He's currently strapped down by the chains that are surrounding him. So he's going to need to make a wisdom saving throw. Which, let me remind myself of your abilities. Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay. So the Melungor was kind of chained down to the ground. It's been resisting, pulling at its chains. And it grabs them with its mouth and kind of rips them away. And the fire kind of like splashes and dissipates into the air. As the creature is free. However, that is his turn. And at that, the armor has its turn next. And you see the kind of, a bit of the recoil from the Melungor breaking free of its spell as the concentration is lost. And the armor growls, a deep guttural sound. As from the conversation you had last week, you know that he recognized Eric specifically. And he is after you. Does he still have panache on him or not? Because
No.
he's been attacked? Yeah? So no panache, so he's going to be attacking you as normal. There's a big, scary...
With his like +15 to
Yeah.
hit.
A massive suit of armour with a flaming longsword and fiery wings staring down at an old, hunchbacked, crippled man. And he swings down the sword with his first attack. A natural one as it flies over your head and completely misses you. Unfortunately, nothing bad's going to happen because the sword is magically bound to him in some sort of a way. However, he has many, many multi-attacks. As he misses with the sword, he kind of like looks at it and shakes his hand and it disappears, and he tries to go in with a backhand with the claws to strike you across the face. 28, that one's going to hit you.
Does hit me.
As the fiery hot red claws of the creature slash across kind of like, or just all of your body really, because it's such a big fuck off claw for 22 points of slashing damage.
Okie dokie. So.
And then he goes in with his foot, and he just goes for kind of like a downward crushing stomp to try and shove you down to the floor. So we need a contested strength or athletics roll from both of you, please.
I knew that was coming. I'm guessing there's no chance of me doing acrobatics.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, athletics or acrobatics.
Okay. That is a 7-point swing, to be fair. 12. I don't think it helps.
No, okay. So yeah, the fist comes smashing down as you try and like block it, and it smashes you into the floor, making you prone.
Okay.
And then he dives at you with his face, biting into you at advantage because you are prone on the floor.
Yes.
We'll need a Constitution saving throw because that was a 25 to hit you.
That does hit.
Okay.
My con save is an 11.
Okay, an 11.
This is gonna hurt, boys.
First, you're going to take 12. You're going to take 20 points of piercing damage.
Okay, just give it me all at once, because it.
Okay, 20 points of piercing damage, and then you are going to be poisoned just for one turn, because being poisoned forever is quite boring. So this is a bit of a different poison. This is just you cannot regain hit points for one turn, so you need to remember that one.
Okay. I'm going to include that to all of my
Okay, lovely.
hit points. Yes.
And an additional 41 points of poison damage.
Lovely. So that's 20.
Oh wait, no, sorry, that was not correct. 21. 41 was the total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
41 points of damage in total. A bit of poison, a bit of piercing.
It's all good.
Takes a big chunk out of part of your mushroom that you have over your head.
Not my mushroom.
And he kind of rips it off and starts chewing on it. And he spits it out across the stone.
Oh, he's going to regret that.
Ooh, fighting words. And yeah, then you see the arrow that was embedded in his armor is pushed out from his arm and clatters down to the stone floor. And
I have to do a saving throw, don't I?
yes, or if you want to, you don't have to.
I'll do it.
Okay.
And that's funny.
Okay, well, in that case, the fire of his wings and the sword, it was about to blaze up with light. But then he staggers backwards and stumbles and falls to one knee as incredibly quickly, like it's you remember like the Wii? You remember when you put a me from like you put them in the bin and they like just kind of got sucked up as the armor just kind of is sucked up and it vanishes, and Janice falls to the floor in its place.
I'm back.
Fuck!
Okay.
Hey, what?
We'll keep you with the same initiative that you had. And Wilson, it's your turn. You're going to be unconscious for now, but I mean you're still on what health you're on before, so if you could just wake up with like if someone slaps you or something.
Okay.
Not that everyone else would know that. Janice is just lying on the floor. You can hear snores coming from him, so you know that he's not dead. Unless he snores whilst he's dead, which is quite plausible for Janice.
Anything's plausible for Janice at this.
So, Wilson, it's your turn. The Melungor has broken free from its chains and the armour has disappeared.
Give me a second. I'm calculating what does more damage.
Time for some maths.
Wilston recalibrates himself.
Plus, I should just play the fucking rogue. They're easy, you just stab things.
If you want to switch to
My
a
dear,
barbarian,
that's what I'm built for.
That's... This is... Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna use, first of all, my cannon to
Yep.
shoot at it.
21. That's going to hit the Melungor, yes.
And that's 3d8. For a beautiful damage of 9.
9. What kind of damage would this be?
Bludgeoning? That's piercing.
Piercing. Okay. Yep.
Now I move it closer just so I can like take the hit. And then I will cast... Can I do that from this range? Surely. 45 feet, yeah. Scorching Ray, which I haven't been using.
Lovely. So, all 3 on the Melungor, I'm assuming?
Yes.
So you make an attack roll for each of the rays. So 3 attack rolls. 28, an 18, and an 11. The first 2 hit.
Jack, do you know this? Does my arcane firearm apply that damage to every one of the rolls?
It. What were you talking with again? No, it's for one set. So
Or one
when you
usage?
roll damage for one ray, you get your arcane fire.
So I roll it 3 times now.
It'd be once for one cast, so you'll only get it on one of them, right?
Okay. Still gonna be a shitload of damage. So 2 of them hit, right?
Yeah, the first 2 hit.
So that'll be like 4d6 plus 1d8 plus any other bonus you have to it.
1d8. Boom.
I'll throw this out there because I was playing in a game where they had artificial crits, where 10 above the AC of a creature counted as a crit. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, that's a Pathfinder rule if I remember correctly.
I'm not sure.
It's interesting.
I just played in a session or 2 and they used it.
But I wouldn't do that a crit where it's guaranteed to be full damage. If you do that.
I mean, we
Like,
can vote on
yeah.
it. Do we want to vote on it?
We could have nat 20s max damage, and over 10 is
Just double the dice.
double dice.
double roll, yeah.
Yeah,
Do we want to do that one?
that makes sense.
Yeah, at least it
Yeah, I'm
sounds
up
happy
for
with that.
interesting.
Okay, well, this is an artificial critical. The first one is an artificial critical.
Oh, so another
I'm
damage
all
roll.
for. I'm all for bigger numbers.
Wait, where's the 1d8s coming from? Oh fuck, I've put them like in the spell.
Yeah.
They put it in the spell.
The first one was an 8. The second one you can ignore the 3, so it'd be 15 plus 7 plus
15.
your 2d6 again, so which was 4. So I think that's 26 total.
Yeah, 26 total.
Is this all fire damage, or would the extra damage be different? All fire damage. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was the D8 from the fire thing that you'd cast in it?
The arcane firearm, yeah.
You'd cast something that increased the fire damage it took, if I remember correctly.
Oh yes, I
Elemental
did
Bane.
Elemental Bane.
Yes, so that is activated on one of them. Or
The first time the first time of the set type on its turn is an extra 2d6. So add an extra 2d6 fire, please. Doom? No. Wilston. Go through all the
You're not
names.
even in that campaign anymore, man. Yeah, some extra dice here.
Oh, which dice?
2d8?
2d6.
6.
2d6. Another 7.
Okay,
So 28.
28 points of fire damage. Okay, lovely.
Then I will
3,
make a little retreat.
3 scorching beams of red hot fire just kind of burst from the sky and singe some of the fur off the Melungor. Beleric, before your turn,
Oh no.
the Melungor is going to shake itself down from the grasp of the chains, and you see it kind of relaxing slightly as it scans the room, sees that the armor's gone. It's now regained some control over the fight, and it walks, prowls, pounces, prowls. It prowls across the snow over to here. Now, Beleric, it'll be your turn.
So I think as Avelios kind of walks in front, I was super prepared to throw stuff at Janice. And at the last minute, it goes down to Janice on the floor. I'm like, oh no, and redirect whatever I had to think. So I'm going to cast Varathim's Psychic Lance at Melungor.
I understood
Is that
that. Yeah.
bigger and scarier? Yeah, one of those. I can't remember how to cast things. Ah, there we go.
And
Bam.
you hover over it, it'll turn into like a dice kind of thing. An intelligence save.
That's the one.
You rolled a 15, so whatever happens, happens.
Yes. So it gets 7d6 psychic damage and is incapacitated until the start of my next turn. Let me do some maths.
So can't take actions or reactions still as bonus actions? Or does actions mean turn?
I think, yeah,
Okay.
bonus actions comes under the title of actions.
Sixes. I can't do maths.
Mhm.
If only there was an online tool that would let you roll dice at once and do the maths for you.
That'd
They
be
doesn't
crazy.
make the click-clacks.
Yeah.
I mean, there is. It's called Michael.
30,
30 points
says
of
with overwhelming confidence.
psychic damage. There we go. There's a Melungor kind of like, you see it kind of like jerk slightly as pain lances through its brain.
And I'm gonna, as I've kind of passed that, very, very hastily adjusting the direction, I'm gonna look back over at Janice and go, "Nearly hit you, you idiot! Get up!" and cast Bardic Inspiration at him.
Lovely. Oh. Janice, in your deep slumber, which has just actually happened because when you are overtaken, you do still see and hear whatever's going on, and as soon as you kind of overpowered him with your mind, you fell into a sleep. But you hear kind of in the deep reaches of the darkness that you're looking into, Belleric's voice, which starts to wake you up. And you open your eyes and you see the sky above you and the lightning and the thunder that's lancing around you, and the sound starts to fade in, and you remember where you are, fighting a very dangerous creature on the Great Divide. You'll have lost your... I don't even think you went into a rage, but if you did, you would have lost, all of that kind of stuff. Your rage is down.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
Right, Janus will kind of like look around in the snow, realize he's laying down, stand back up, dust himself off, do a bit of like a shoulder shrug, crack his bones, see that the Melungor's still there, see that everyone's still around, give like a little nod, sees Eric and says, "Sorry about that," and then he, and then he is going to. He's just going to move 30 feet, and then he's going to throw a hand axe because.
Great.
Yeah. Actually, he's going to rage first. Rage, yes.
Okay. We'll need a wisdom saving throw at the end of your turn, and
Cool.
it will be at disadvantage because I think a hand axe is 20 feet. The throne? Yeah, 20 feet. Past that is disadvantage.
Eric is staring daggers at Janus.
Got a 19
And 19's going to hit it.
for 10 damage.
Do you get advantage when it's incapacitated or not? Or is it just restrained? Interesting.
And then a wisdom
I
save.
think you get advantage if they're incapacitated. It's like the leap. Might only be on melee though. I can't remember.
I'm not
Often
sure.
things like restrained say, actually restrained doesn't say, but often like something will start with they are incapacitated and you get all
Yeah.
these extra things.
Okay.
Incapacitated is basically you can't do anything.
Lovely. Well, Evelios, it shall be your turn again.
Oh, righty. Well, that's rather a change of tack, but big thing in front of us again. How delightful. Yeah, 30 feet up to here, and then I am going to. Yeah, I'm gonna bonus action dash.
Okay.
Another 25 feet right up towards it.
Remember, across the snow, it's difficult terrain. I wasn't actually
Okay,
looking
now.
how you moved, but
Yeah, in which case I am way back.
I don't
That
quite
would
know where
like.
you were. You can control Z to
I
undo the movement that you just did.
okay. That done it? Was that
Yes, there we go.
right?
But you can go.
In which case,
Because remember, this here is rock. This isn't this difficult terrain. It's just
Okay,
on the edges is where the snow hasn't been
so
removed.
yeah. So then bonus action dash across here inside the rock area.
Mm-hmm.
There. And then I'm gonna hit it with a good old gibby stabby because dangerous and lightning.
Go for it.
And nearly fried my head the other day, which is darned inconvenient. So that is a 25 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
Excellent. This was a booming blade, which I believe we've already established is just
So
a
it's-
given
Yeah.
when I'm attacking with my sword. So I get sneak attack because I'm a fancy duelist like that, and nothing else is close enough to distract me from stabbing him real good. So he takes
And one other thing, how I did say last session, I'm fairly certain I said last session that the creature was bloodied at some point during the fight, so it is below half health.
okay, it
Can't
takes
quite remember how long ago that happened, but it happened at some point.
it takes 40 points of piercing damage and 5 points of thunder damage.
Okay. So it takes 40 points of piercing damage. The
Yep.
rest of it seems to not do anything.
Okay, fine. And then that was all of my movement, so I'm just going to get there, and I go to pedal backwards and realize that actually I've run quite a long way, and the back of my leg crabs, and I'm like, and that's my turn.
Okay. In that case, Eric. You can't do anything.
Okay.
You can't take its legendary
Eric.
actions.
Eric, remembering that this thing has AoEs from before, is going to move backwards a bit
You
and
read my
out of
mind.
range, and is going to drop concentration on the elemental bane, and for his action is going to hold his action, holding an attack targeted on Janus.
Lovely. Is it going to be like a spell or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it'll be a cantrip, but
Okay, that's
that's
good.
why I dropped the concentration.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just, if anything happens to Janus,
Okay, so it's the Melungor's turn. It can't do anything, only can move. Yeah. It doesn't want to move though. It is simply going to stand still, smiling mischievously at Velios with a big wide grin on its face. As you have not moved away, it's preparing for what it's going to do to you next turn. Wilston.
First of all, shoot him with the cannon.
Yep. Bonus action cannon shot. Yeah.
3. And then
18. Lovely.
it's chunky. And then as my main action, I'm going to cast Aid
Ooh.
on
So what does that do?
Velios. Increases hit points with temp HP for 5.
it's actual HP. It's not even just temp HP.
Oh, it's
Makes
actual
it very
HP.
strong. Yeah.
It's actual HP. Very snazzy.
Yeah. And it's also
Thank
very good if like 3 people are down, you can heal 3 people in one spell.
Nice. I didn't.
Oh.
I thought it was temp HP. That's too far. I can do my cannon. So-
Yeah, go ahead. You can do it on your cannon if you want. Maybe add it as temp HP because it doesn't last for the full duration, because it doesn't last for forever. So increasing it on your actual HP might get a bit confusing. Yes, so what Ivelios and Janus and your cannon all heal for 5, and max health is increased by 5 for the next 8 hours. It's handy.
Nice.
Anything else?
Nope, that's all I can do.
Okay. Meloric, then. It'll be your turn.
Don't like being repetitive. I think it's the only thing that I've got.
Coming in with all the 4th level spells when we were all exhausted with it is very nice. Full spellcaster coming in.
I've just woken up, guys. It's fine.
The pros of coming in late.
Okay, actually, how far? Silly question. How big are each hexagon? Is it 5 foot?
5 feet a hexagon, yes.
So how far is?
65 feet.
How tall is Melungor?
Well, it depends if it's standing up or not.
Is it standing up?
Currently, it's not standing up, no.
Okay.
Right, so it's about maybe 13 feet from
Okay.
floor to the back of its shoulders. Or the top of its shoulders, I guess.
Cool. In which case, what I will then do, because yeah, repetition's boring. I want to spice things up a little bit. I'm gonna move a little bit further forward because why not? How do I move forward? A little bit for a dramatic movement.
Dramatic air horn.
It's like, where's this
That's the
dramatic
sound of my
music
movement.
coming from?
That's
That's what the Melungor hears in its mind.
as it should, because I'm going to cast Synaptic Static, so that could be the sound of it charging. And I'm going to cast it like just behind it so that it gets Melungor, but not Ivelios.
Lovely.
And that is
Is
one
it
of
another
those.
saving throw? Yes.
It is indeed.
Right, well, 17. So, does it take half damage?
It gets half, yes. Where am I? 8d6.
Yeah.
I can't count that many 8s.
It literally only has a +1, so it's just been rolling quite well on these intelligence saves. I remember it was rolling against some last week as well, wasn't it? Or last session.
By wisdom, yeah.
That was rubbish in comparison. Right.
Oh, it's good at wisdom. It's bad at intelligence.
That's 29. Oh wait, halved.
29. After we
29 was
15.
full.
Because I round up, because I'm an asshole like that.
Benevolent god.
You're consistent. You'd be an arsehole if we rounded down, monsters rounded up.
Yes.
True.
Yeah, it does all work the same.
Cool.
Ooh.
And I'm going to shoot another bardic inspiration at Ivelios.
Go for it. Can it stack? Can you have multiple?
Don't
Have
think
bardic?
so.
You have bardic inspiration?
Yeah, you gave
I
one to
don't think
Janus,
I
right?
currently.
Oh, did you
Gave it to
did you
Janus
not
last
say
time.
Janus? Alright, my mistake. Oof, the name's just so similar.
No, I don't think they can stack.
Yeah, I don't think I can either.
But I have some.
And I'll just stab it harder.
What do you think I'm doing? Channeling Wilston there for a second.
Oh, lovely.
And that's it. Good.
Is that the end of your turn?
It is indeed.
Okay. So the Melungor, it's no longer incapacitated. It can take its legendary actions. So the whole time when it was incapacitated, it was kind of like coiling the front of its body up and pressing its face lower and lower and lower to the ground. And now it's going to release all the pent-up energy and launch itself up, like straight upwards into the sky. and it does what it's done before. It tumbles into a ball, and you see the fur, and it starts to stick out and starts to absorb parts of the lightning that kind of like lashes out from the storm clouds around, and smashes down like a thunderbolt. Right back where it jumped from. So everyone within 30 feet of the Melungor, so that is everyone here, needs to make a strength saving throw.
Ah.
We're a strong bunch.
DC's 19, and if you fail by more than 5, then you shall be stunned for 1 turn.
Just checking if I got an advantage on this. I do.
When you're raging, you'll definitely have advantage on strength checks and saving throws.
And I still fuck it.
That is a natural 2
A natural
for 1.
2. Okay. Evelios, you're going to be stunned
inspiration?
for the next turn.
Am
what is
I
it?
as well?
Darn it.
The D8. I don't think you can change the outcome there with using your bardic inspiration.
No.
Oh wait, yeah,
Not
I've got
over.
that as well. D6, isn't it?
D8, I
D8.
believe.
Oh, 1d8.
So you need
Fine.
you
Great.
not get a 1.
I got a 3, I'm
Hey,
fine.
What, you're not fine? Oh, actually. No, you are fine.
that was intelligence,
Yeah, it was
Ralston.
intelligence first, not strength.
I clicked intelligent.
Yeah,
What?
it looks like it. Strength
Strength
saving
save.
throw. Yes.
11.
An 11. If I remember correctly, don't you have stuff that you can add to things like that, Doom?
Yes, I can add 5 to it with Flash of Genius. I was just about to click that.
Lovely. So you
Is it
make
five?
a 16.
So, full damage but not stunned.
Yes, well, it doesn't do any damage. So
Oh,
all it does is Wilson, you're knocked prone. Evelios, you're knocked prone and stunned, which canonically makes sense, really, because you're right underneath it. And Janice, you are fine as well, as the ground just shakes, and some of the bits of snow banks built up here start to kind of like slump down a little bit. As the lightning all focuses it into Evelios' kind of downed form and stuns you until the end of your next turn. And Janice, here you go. It's your turn.
It is my time to shine. Get up right close to it, and I do my thing. I attack. Recklessly as well. 21,
Focused.
25,
Both of
and
those
I don't
hits.
have action search.
I think you used it
Yeah.
before you thingy-majiggied.
20 and a 15.
Okay.
God.
No, I did not do that correctly. What am I doing? What's doing? -8. There we go. Wisdom save, thank you. And at the end of your turn, it's going to use its last legendary action that it's currently got to smash its foot down on top of Evelios. You'll have advantage because you're currently prone. Okay. That was a natural 20 for a total of 32.
Oh,
Silvery barbs.
Force a reroll. Yeah, that's fine.
Are you? Is it 30 feet or 60 feet?
Just yelled it. 60.
Yeah.
How far away am I?
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So
Oh,
you felt your life coming to an end. So it rerolls, but it's still a reroll at advantage. And that was almost another natural 20, a 30 instead. So that would be an artificial critical then.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we're doing them, they get them as well.
Yeah.
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 What
was the total, actually? Sorry.
30.
30.
It's, yes.
Oh, we're hoping the rogue doesn't have more than a 20 AC.
No, not yet.
Oh dear. I don't like the sound of that. Yes, so I'll just roll the damage twice.
Just make sure to take off any modifiers for the
Yeah.
second one.
So Yeah, it smashes its foot down into you and it grinds it into your chest. You'll take 13, 18 points of bludgeoning damage as it smashes, is grinding you into the rock.
Uncanny dodge.
Yep.
Actually,
out the way.
can I?
You're
It's
incapacitated.
incapacitated,
can't-
yes, you can't.
I am stunned. Uncanny dodge is a reaction.
Yeah.
Oh. 18, did you say?
Yes, 18 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
And that was its other legendary action. So that was Janice, you took your turn. Yeah.
Yep.
So Velios, it's now your turn, but you're stunned, so you're gonna miss this turn.
Yep.
But you're no longer stunned after your turn is finished.
I daydream of the ocean. Briefly.
Now Eric, it is your turn.
I mean, Eric's gonna move a little bit. He'll move closer to Bell, and is going to shoot the Melungor for now.
Okay.
Janus can wait.
Why won't you get close?
I do not trust you, boy. 26 to hit. I'm guessing that's not a +10.
No, not quite.
Then
Opened in a big feral grin to reveal its sharp teeth, and it's gonna punch down on Velios, who's still prone because he didn't have the chance to stand up.
Yeah.
With 2 punches. The first one will be a 22, and the second one will be a 24.
Both of which hit, neither of which crit.
So the first one will deal 20 points of bludgeoning damage, and the second one will do
20 points of damage. Okie dokie.
the second
Ow.
one will deal 28 points of bludgeoning damage.
Uncanny dodge.
Yep.
Wait, hang on. That halves it to 14? Nah, I'm still down.
On one of them. Okay.
Yep. I dodge out of the way of one foot and into the other one, and I'm just sort of divot.
Okay. And yeah, as the fishes are like smashed down, and like from the Avengers, Hulk when he just like smashes into the ground, creates a small crater. And
I go to sleep.
Velios goes to sleep. I think that's all it can do for now. Yes, it is. So Wilston, it's your turn.
I'm gonna shoot it.
Go
It's
for it.
almost dead.
Presumably, it's bleeding from many different open wounds, but it is still fighting viciously. It's a creature
Savage.
that's 15? No, it's not. It's a creature that's lived for a very long time, and this is the most action it's had in a while. Usually, you'll find that creatures that you'll find in the wilderness may not fight to the death. They might try and, run away if they see that the food isn't easy. However, this creature, you can kind of tell that it's an ancient one. It's having fun. It's going to die on this hill. Or kill you guys.
Summon 3 scorching rays at the barrel of my gun. Just
Burst
It's like-
fire.
yes.
17 hits, 23 hits, and the 18 hits. They all hit.
Yeah, I'm wondering why it adds the 1d8 from my arcane firearm. Like by default, it shouldn't.
is it in the when you click? It might have added it into the you can add a. When you click the damage, it comes up with the pop-up of any additional damage. It might be staying in there.
It's not.
Oh.
It's not in the description of the spell either.
I'm not sure. Go into your effects tab. Maybe it's an effect that's there. You might be able to disable the effect. I'm not too sure.
Arcane firearm.
Yeah, you can just click on X and it'll disable the effect. And just remember to do it when you're using it.
Got it.
Yeah, go for it. Roll damage on all 3 of those. None of them are artificially critical. And you don't get the bonus damage from the fire mark because that is not there anymore. So that's 23 points of fire damage. 23, yeah. There we go. Like a little burst fire from your rifle. Bam, bam, bam. And after your turn, it's regained its legendary action, so it's gonna, just for interest's sake, it's gonna kick you out of the way of Velios and turn its gazes to the next foe in front of it, which will be a Janus, which is gonna go back down onto all fours and kind of do a little spin and kick you with its back legs. And so I would like. Oh, actually, if it hits you first, yeah, 25. That hits.
Yes.
Yes. So I'd like a strength save from you, please.
Advantage 18.
And you'll take 9 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're smashed back 15 feet across the stone.
Nice.
In kind of like a this-y direction. Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
In a this-y direction. There you go. It just plants its foot on your chest and knocks you backwards. Belrock.
Is Velios like out for the count? Is he moving?
He's down, unconscious.
No.
Making
Okay.
death saves.
You better not. I'm gonna run stupidly 5. Okay. Kind of regret this. I run over there, and as I'm running, I'm gonna throw a healing word at Velios.
Go for it.
It's pathetic. I'm not gonna cast it at first level. I'm not weak. Damn.
To be fair, with healing word first level versus 5th level will only be like 8 HP.
Yeah.
True,
It's
very true.
D4, isn't it?
He's getting him up. But
We'll cast it at third. A happy medium.
I like it.
Blam. So that's. I can't find my dice. Right, so that's 3d4?
3d4 plus
3d4, that's
your
right.
charisma. Charisma.
My charisma. Which is pathetic. 3 plus. I've been so insulted. 3 plus 4. Yeah, 7 whole points.
Yeah, there's some rejuvenating words again. In the darkness of your slumber, you also hear Beleric, and his words rejuvenate you, and you open your eyes. You're still prone. You're currently
What?
the front paw of the Melungor is planted on your chest, as you kind of stutter and regain consciousness, and the feet start wriggling around. Anything else from you, Hal?
If
you remember in my campaign, healing spells are bonus actions, so you'll still have your action.
That's what I was gonna
healing
ask
word
actually.
bonus anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Can I do 2 bonus actions in one turn, or does one of them have to be an action?
Yeah, you can't use bonus actions as actions, unfortunately.
Damn. In that case, I can't
Could
do
do a
another spell.
cantrip action attack.
Can't cast 2 spells, can I?
I'm
You
not too
can
fussed about
cast a
that rule.
cantrip.
Okay, in
I'm
which case
not.
I will.
I'm not fussed about that rule at all. The only one that I really focus on is concentration, really.
Okay.
I don't know. I do think
Cool,
it's a
in
bit of a
which case.
boring rule that you can't cast 2 spells in one turn.
It does when
If
I
you wanna-
can't do anything physical, so.
Yeah, like if you want to throw 2 spells at someone, throw 2 spells through fireballs at someone. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a bit more fun, really.
In which case. Oh.
Especially, like you said, when you don't particularly have the best attacks with your rapier.
Of course, I can't get closer. So, what I will do Why not? I haven't insulted anyone in a while. I have actually in all of my bardic inspirations. Never mind. I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers at the Melungor, and it's gonna be just all of the internal screaming when Evelios went down. He's just gonna send that at it.
Oh, okay. That's a wisdom save, I think.
Let's see it. Yes, Wisdom save. Yeah.
Okay. That'll be a 22 on the wisdom save.
No. It's half damage though.
Okay.
Go half. Yeah, it does. Doodaloo. That is 7.
A
psychic.
It doesn't really matter. If it's any sort of attacks like that. Lovely. And after your turn, I'm sorry, Jack, but the wriggling that you've been doing, the Melungor kind of like looks down at you and huffs. He's not too happy with the damage that you've been doing to it. So it lifts the paw up that it's got planted on your chest and just smashes it back down again.
No! Uncanny dodge!
Yeah, that's fine.
If it hits, hopefully.
I mean, you're still
doesn't.
prone from falling unconscious, so it's going to have an advantage again, which will be a 30.
That's an artificial crit.
Okay. So
You mean it's going to do more than the 7 hit points that you have?
Yep.
So,
I'm just worried about
Nice
my...
free ball
it
save.
shouldn't do 7 plus my max, hopefully.
so from... Yeah, no, the kick's not particularly strong attack at all, but with an artificial crit, that'll be 13 from the first roll plus 19... No, well, actually, that'll be 24. Uncanny dodge halves it to 12.
Yep. I'm still unconscious.
Fucking damn.
Right back down to zero.
I feel
When you
bad,
try
but
your best, but you don't succeed.
yeah, I mean, the creature's trying
Honestly,
to win, so-
Bellaruk, I can't believe, Bellaruk, that you brought him up just to make him suffer more. That was a really cruel thing to do.
Yeah, the Melungor has like a nice little grin as he's done that. You know, he's happy that he's managed to do it again. In that case, Janice, it's your turn.
Get back in its face and do my job.
Go for it.
Reckless, of course. 27.
Yep.
And 23.
That's an artificial critical on the first one.
Oh, nice. So I roll the damage dice twice for it.
Yes.
So that is a 21 and a 27. And then a third one for 24.
Okay, so 21, 48, plus 18, 58, 64, by my maths. I'm looking here at Michael.
I didn't hear the damages, to be honest.
That'll be
27 and 24.
21, 27, and 18.
21, 27, and 18. 55. 76. Wait, no, that's not
I
wrong.
was going to say, how did I get that so wrong?
No.
It's right.
Sorry, I'm on a go slow today.
It's all good. I'll whip a calculator
Right.
out. I should be
It's
doing it myself
66.
anyway.
It's 66, not
66.
76.
I was close. Lovely. Yes. Anything else? Wisdom save at least.
Yes.
Anything else? You'll have a bonus action and
Nothing
and
else.
stuff. Okay. In that case, after your turn, it's got one last thing that it can do, and it's going to kick you again. Because that's the only one it can do right now. So, 21. Only
Yes.
strength save again, and you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
19.
So yeah, you're not back. You're not knocked back as you manage to kind of stand your ground against the paw. It's got a bit unstable footing, to be fair, because it's got one paw on Evelios and the other hand kicking at you, so it gave you a slight advantage. Will this be the first death saving throw of the campaign? I think it will be.
Oh,
Evelios, if you please.
that one.
Yeah.
You may or you may not tell us what you roll. It's up to you if you want to keep it secret or not.
I shall send you a message.
Go for it. I like it when players keep them a bit secret. It increases the suspense.
Hate this.
Usually I roll them for the players, but yeah, if you guys roll them and keep them secret, that is awesome. And then we go over to Eric. Zvelios groans in his
Okay.
unconscious state on the floor.
So Eric is thinking, this Melungor can see us too well. I'm going to try and cast blindness and deafness, and I'm going to try and make the Melungor blind.
Okay.
It would be a DC 17 Constitution saving throw.
Okay, do you choose one of them? So you're choosing blind. Yeah, blind or deafened. So you're choosing to blind it.
My choice. Yeah, so I choose blinded.
Okay.
So that in the hope that it would be
Constitution
attacking with disadvantage.
saving throw. Well, rolled a 19. So
Okay, wonderful. In which case, having just made one death save, I'll bring back our friend for another round of punishment, and with my bonus action, cast healing word at first level. And let's see if we can get more than
I bet you will.
7.
No.
It is
Hey.
8 healing.
oh,
God damn it.
right. So in my mind, you were knocked down on your turn, right, Velios?
Yep.
And then you were brought back up, and then it knocked you down again.
Yep.
And it also kicked Janice. So it's only taken 2 kicks, I believe, outside of its turn. Does that sound right to everyone?
That
Yeah.
sounds about right.
I don't think it's done
Yeah.
3. So is that the end of your turn?
Yep. We'll see if 8 is
Okay,
enough to
dodge!
keep him up. Well, it resets the death save, which was my hope.
So for the George, reveal what you rolled.
I rolled a 19 on my death save.
It's reset
Well,
the
you
death
don't get
save,
that anymore.
but it has one more chuckles deep in the back of its throat as it feels you wriggle underneath its paw again. That uses its last legendary action for now on another kick as it smashes you back down. The crater underneath you is ridiculous at the moment. What's it doing here? Well, so be prone, so it's an advantage of 25.
Hits, but doesn't crit.
Okay, so let's roll an 11 on the damage. Halved to 6.
Yep.
To
Uncanny
6.
dodge. 6.
So you'll take
I
6 points
live.
of bludgeoning.
Just managed to roll, like, immediately come back to consciousness and the instincts kick in as I just, like, throw myself out the side of the crater and just get clipped on the side.
Lovely. And now it's Melungor's actual turn. You're currently prone, so I believe you can have an attack of opportunity, but attacking from the floor, I think you'll have a disadvantage.
Yes.
Uncle.
I can attack him, but it will be at disadvantage.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
I was lining up for something.
Yeah, as it doesn't disengage, so you can kind of swing out with one of your rapiers.
Yep, swing out with my rapier, so that is a 16 to...
I think it will be normal because Janice is within 5 feet of it. Does that give you advantage? I can't remember what gives you advantage and what just gives you sneak attack.
It doesn't give me advantage, it does give me sneak attack, but that's negated by the fact that I have disadvantage.
Yes.
So, does a 16 hit?
No. 1 off.
Oh. Okay.
As it kind of it keeps its eye on you, as it kind of like steps around as it begins to breathe in.
Yeah.
As
Yeah, no, never mind.
it chuckles.
Oh. Cool.
And so the first time it breathed out lightning, the lightning on its mane dimmed slightly, and it took I think 5 turns for the lightning to come back again. So the lightning in its mane has been back for a while now, but it hasn't particularly really had a chance to use it because it's been restrained. So
No.
it's gonna again breathe out some lightning in a beam from its maw, and everyone that's within that line there which is everyone apart from Wilston, shall need to give me a... That's not the right one. That's the right one. Which one is it? Dexterity saving throw. As a big beam of lightning. Just
17.
Dice
launched
isn't going to fail me.
through you all.
My cannon as
Fail
well.
from me.
Yes,
Saving
your
throw.
cannon will also need to make one.
18.
What teen?
18.
18,
18.
Yes.
you're one off.
Oh, bull.
Janice failed, Eric failed, the cannon failed, Beleric failed,
Velios succeeded.
Velio
23.
succeeded. So at the 23, you halve it and
Takes
you
half
take no
damage.
damage because of your...
Evasion. I roll back into my crater.
Is that a reaction or is that a special?
No, that just happens.
Just happens. Yeah, it's a special. Yeah,
If there's a dex save to take
Yeah.
half damage, if I succeed, I take no damage.
I thought so. So,
And if I fail, I still take half damage. Because I'm just
yeah.
dodgy
Um,
like that.
So, yeah, you roll back into the crater that the Melungor has so nicely crafted for you as the beam of lightning strikes through all of you, dealing a total of 40 points of lightning damage to each of you because you all failed.
Oh, voice. This isn't good.
Nerd.
I no longer have temporary hit points.
Oh man. The tankiest druid that ever did live, and you're not even a moon druid.
Even a moon druid.
Is your health accurate on Foundry? Like, is what I'm looking at accurate?
What you're looking at is accurate, yes.
Fuck me, bro. I need to up the amount of times things look at you. Jesus.
He's just an old man.
He's Irrevelios has
I'm-
been knocked down multiple times and then...
I'm an innocent old man.
Oh my god.
Just a little guy.
I've not killed anyone.
Little mushroomy guy.
Wilston. It'll be your turn. The cannon was... Is it up or is it destroyed? It'll be up
Yeah,
on
how
5
much?
health, right? 10 health. Because it took 40 points of lightning damage. And it'll have 50
Yeah.
health because of the...
Yeah, so I got 10 HP left.
Yes.
I believe I'm only slightly healthier than a cannon.
So in that case, I will command it to blow itself up.
Oh, God.
From where?
Hang on. 20-foot range.
That's gonna get everyone. That's 40 foot diameter.
I'm gonna move it first. And you can move 25 feet.
There's a possibility that you can move it to here. And it... Oh no, I think no matter where you're going to hit the Melungor, you're going to hit Avelios as well. But I mean, is it a dex save thing?
I mean,
The dex.
I mean, it is up to you guys. It's up to you.
Bring it up to me. Do
Too
it.
bad. He's exploded.
The cannon
All right.
foregoing its shooting mechanic, it trundles on over to the Melungor. The Melungor kind of watches it curiously. And he's just staring at it and it explodes. Boom. So, yeah, dex saves for everyone, is it?
I like to think that it works like one of those wind-up key toys and just starts trundling over.
Well, the Melungor got a 10, so I believe it failed.
Yeah, it's a DC 17.
Yes, the
I,
Melungor's failed.
I was just poking over the rim of my crater and then right back down again.
It's like a battlefield, bro. You're dodging explosions, lightning, everything.
26. I'm chill.
So, yeah, do you want to roll the damage on that one?
Do your eyes take half damage?
I'm not
Well,
sure.
quarter damage.
Yeah, half damage.
Halved, then quartered with your rage.
3.
Yeah, it should be 4. Half to 7.
Oh.
Half of 7 will be 4.
9.
And now I'm just gonna shoot it.
And I guess a 23 hits. 18. Okay.
Okay.
It is bleeding from all conceivable points on its body.
Yeah, and the cannon is dead, so I can't delete
I
it.
can do that. It's panting deeply, but it's still got a smile on its face. Beleric.
Finish it, Beleric.
God.
Before your turn, I can do stuff.
Oh no.
Before your turn, Janice.
Yeah.
He's kicking you in the face.
Nice.
You're recklessly attacking, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Bloody hell! Everything should have been an advantage. A 19.
Doesn't hit.
Okay. So it raises its kind of like pitiful paw to smash it into you. It's still got force behind it, but it's a very, very weakened creature at the moment. Beleric, now it's your turn. Sorry about that.
Oh God. There's a lot happening here. Don't trust myself to roll dice well when I need to. We go and try though. Gonna yeah. Ooh. Yeah, we can try. I'm gonna the old psychic glance again. That went well first time. I am, however, gonna carry on moving forward because I'm an idiot. And yeah, I'm just gonna psychic glance it.
Was this one an
Take-
intelligence?
Intelligence, yeah.
You rolled a 5.
Foiled. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. 8, 10.
On big numbers.
Come on, please. My calculator. Can't do maths. That is right. $23 points of damage.
You want to tell us what happens?
Yeah. I will. I reckon going to be quite angry at this point. Beleric very rarely gets angry. But there is frustration. This boy has been hit every damn time he's got up again. There is frustration. So yeah, he's just gonna yell. And there's probably gonna be a bit of a weird mush of like orcish and common, kind of like Bronglaise, but orcish. Just, will you leave my fucking friends alone? And zappity bappity,
Okay. So
straight into its brain hole.
yeah, it's like a ferocious kind of like burst of. You almost can see kind of like musical notes and like words float through the air and zap towards the Melungor as its eye blinks out and its mane of lightning kind of like dissipates, and it just calmly, its muscles relax, and it just slowly plops down into kind of a like a lying down position, looking a little bit like a Sphinx pyramid kind of thing. You know, its arms go over each other, and it collapses to the floor quite peacefully, ending this fight as we're out of an initiative. And over the next 5 or 10 minutes, as you're doing what you're doing, the storm around you will start to dissipate as the storm clouds fall away. The lightning and the sounds of the thunder that you've been hearing up until now cease to happen. And should we call our break there?
Yeah.
Toilet break, and we'll come back, give you guys time to think about what you do with the corpse of the Melungor.
Probably
Because,
eat it.
It's a legendary creature. It's going to have some fancy shit. Yeah, let's go on a break.
Sure,
We'll
boy.
come back in 5 or so minutes.
Eric lies. Having been abandoned in the forest as a baby, he survived by joining with the very essence of nature. He's been fighting in the war against humans every day for 120 years. Even rumored to have slain 200,000 in 1 week. He is always working, ever watching, forever protecting.
My name is Beleric Morgamash, but you've probably heard of me. I'm a half-orc from the north, but I've been in Alarians for most of my adulthood. You'll know my tales, of course. Warbreaker and the Siren's Curse. Or if those are unfamiliar to you, surely you can't have missed the King's public addresses, penned by yours truly. Be sure to keep an ear out for me, and you know where I am if you hear anything interesting. I'm certainly interested.
I am Ivar, formerly the commander of the Bastion's forces. Now, I seek a way to redeem the loss of the Great Wall, and to return my family to its honourable position once more. For money, influence or power, I will do whatever it takes and earn my name back.
Ivelios Oakenhill is a half-elven gentleman and sea dog who graduated the Imperial Academy as an alchemist in his young days. And though he is most well known as the daring captain of the legendary privateer and sea demon hunter, the Inevitable Demise, the piratical alchemist, as he is known, is still rumored to be the driving force behind some of Aleria's most recent alchemical innovations.
Janus Ricot, a human boy raised into nobility by his lesser-known knightly parents, forged into a soldier to fight against daemonkind, a hero to the common folk as well as their protector, a paragon to fellow soldiers and bane to all demons, general of the 7th Army and Archdemon's plight, Bellum's demise and the slayer of war, the Warbreaker.
Eric Live. Having been abandoned in the forest as a baby, he survived by joining with the very essence of nature. He's been fighting in the war against humans every day for 120 years, even rumored to have slain 200,000 in 1 week. He is always working, ever watching, forever protecting.
My name is Beleric Morgamash, but you've probably heard of me. I'm a half-orc from the north, but I've been in Alarians for most of my adulthood. You'll know my tales, of course. Warbreaker and the Siren's Curse. Or if those are unfamiliar to you, surely you can't have missed the King's public addresses, penned by yours truly. Be sure to keep an ear out for me, and you know where I am if you hear anything interesting. I'm certainly interested.
I am Ivar, formerly the commander of the Bastion's forces. Now, I seek a way to redeem the loss of the Great Wall, and to return my family to its honourable position once more. For money, influence or power, I will do whatever it takes and earn my name back.
Ivelios Oakenhill is a half-elven gentleman and sea dog who graduated the Imperial Academy as an alchemist in his young days. And though he is most well known as the daring captain of the legendary privateer and sea demon hunter, the Inevitable Demise, the
Bellum's demise and the slayer of war, the Warbreaker.
Eric Live. Having been abandoned in the forest as a baby, he survived by joining with the very essence of nature. He's been fighting in the war against humans every day for 120 years, even rumored to have slain 200,000 in 1 week. He is always working, ever watching, forever protecting.
My name is Beleric Morgamash, but you've probably heard of me. I'm a half-orc from the north, but I've been in Alarians for most of my adulthood. You'll know my tales, of course. Warbreaker and the Siren's Curse. Or if those are unfamiliar to you, surely you can't have missed the King's public addresses, penned by yours truly. Be sure to keep an ear out for me, and you know where I am if you hear anything interesting. I'm certainly interested.
I am Ivar, formerly the commander of the Bastion's forces. Now, I seek a way to redeem the loss of the Great Wall and to return my family to its honourable position once more. For money, influence or power, I will do whatever it takes and earn my name back.
Ivelios Oakenheel is a half-elven gentleman and sea dog who graduated the Imperial Academy as an alchemist in his younger days. And though he is most well known as the daring captain of the legendary privateer and sea demon hunter, the Inevitable Demise, the piratical alchemist, as he is known, is still rumoured to be the driving force behind some of Aleria's most recent alchemical innovations.
Janus Ricot, a human boy raised into nobility by his lesser-known knightly parents, forged into a soldier to fight against daemonkind, a hero to the common folk as well as their protector, a paragon to fellow soldiers and bane to all demons, general of the 7th Army and Archdemon's plight, Bellum's demise and the slayer of war, the Warbreaker.
Eric Lythe, having been abandoned in the forest as a baby, he survived by joining with the very essence of nature. He's been fighting in the war against demons every day for 120 years. Even rumored to...
Corpse.
We're back. So, the legendary terror of this area of the mountains. The creature that has been kind of keeping people at bay from the Black Cell up until this point is dead. Fortunately, the Black Cell is no longer in use, so there's not going to be any secondary effects of this happening. But it's down. It's laying on the floor peacefully in front of you all. Fur is bloodied and cut in many places. It still looks like it could be useful. Its fangs are strong. It has... now that the lightning has dissipated, you can see that it has little nubs on the back of its head that seem to have been where this lightning light emanated from. And definitely this creature could be useful for something. So, what are you all doing? Don't all speak at once.
Eric raises his hand, looking at Janus, and says, "You have 60 seconds to explain what the fuck that was."
Janus looks at him and just shows him the sword and says, "It's a hellstone."
And you're a demon.
No, not a demon.
Explain!
It's a side effect of the hellstone, and I'm kind of like bound to it with the demon.
So you're
So you
part
are-
demon.
No,
Yeah.
I'm still human. The demon and it's hard to explain.
So you're human.
Yes, our souls are like intertwined because of the hellstone.
So you are part demon.
No.
Your soul is part demon.
Yeah.
And
Is
you
that
could
not the same thing?
become demon.
Physically, I am human.
But you can physically become demon.
No, because the demon is not me.
That
The
doesn't
demon
change the
looked
fact that-
like you.
It's not
yes.
me. He is the cause of all my issues.
The demons want
The
us all.
frequent napping, or
Oh no, that's me.
okay. Had to clarify.
No, we've been bound together for ever since I've left the military. It was the
Oh.
reason why I've been exiled.
How? How are you bound? Why are you bound? Who is that?
Who is he? His name is Bellum. He was a very high-ranking demon.
Everyone can make a history check at this point. Beleric, you have an advantage.
Oh, yeah.
You've written tales about this story. In fact, you probably just
Don't-
know, but yeah, we could.
You
roll.
failed me. It's pathetic. Get your head in the game, Belrock. 15.
A 17 from Avelios, 10 from Eric, a 12 from Wilston. Okay, so
I like to think I told Avelios the story once, have since forgotten it.
so you guys are all legends. You're in the Sophia. You kind of know what's going on. When you think of Janus, in your mind a little short video plays. In that video, one of the things he says is that he is. I can't remember the exact words he used. It was like Slayer of Bellum or something. Bellum's demise is one
That's
of the
it.
things he said.
I wrote that song.
He did. One of his titles is Bellum's Demise. There was once. I'll let you explain it now, actually. I just wanted to put that in there.
Oh, I'm explaining it.
Oh, yeah, you're explaining it.
Okay. Yeah. So one of Janus's many titles is Bellum's Demise because in the legends of Janus, he fought against Bellum and defeated him, and that's his whole legend. At least that's the legend. He defeated the demon. He let me read it quickly first. So
Go for it.
Revise my backstory.
yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So from the story, is that he battled Bellum one-on-one combat. It lasted many days, many nights. He took one of his skull fragments and forged it into a sword. And it had magnificent power and grace. But the consequence of that battle is that his entire army was destroyed. Janus's army, that is. And according to the legend, after that campaign of battle, Janus came back, but was never seen again.
So, yeah, with your history checks, that's what you guys know.
I thought you killed Bellum, so why is he still here?
Because not all demons truly die, especially the high-ranking ones.
So you're saying he can never die?
Well, the high-ranking demons, and that's why I bound him to a hellish soul stone, so that he cannot return to the battlefield.
What if the stone is destroyed?
Currently, I have no clue if they can be destroyed. That's why I was exiled to the mountains, to the Great Divide, to
Let's
safeguard.
find out then, shall we? Give me that stone.
That's not a good idea,
Why not?
because the stone and the sword is bound to me.
You do have another hellish soul stone around, just to remind you. You have a
This is
second
true.
one now.
You could try this one though, Wilson. You've frozen the other one.
I'll
There
take
is
the
a
stone.
small red rock, which I have a picture for. It looks something like this. Basically, just a very deep reddish, orangish ruby.
I'm gonna take that stone and I'm gonna like toss it like 20 feet away,
Mm-hmm.
or like, let's say 10, because I don't
Yeah.
have the vantage point.
Go for it.
And I'm gonna shoot a frag at it.
Go for it. So you're not even going to need to roll for an attack, but you kind of like flick the lever on your gun and shoot a grenade at it. It lands directly on the hellish soul stone and an explosion goes off. And all of you kind of see a bit of red kind of go flying in a direction. The smoke dissipates and you see that the soul stone is no longer there, but it's just been moved by the explosion. And you go over and you take a look, and it has not a scratch on it.
Very well made.
How do we know he won't come out again? What happened then for him to return?
I let him out.
You what?
I let him out.
You control him?
No. There are times when he can attempt to take over, from my knowledge. And if I am fully unconscious, he can also take over then.
Why? Why did you let him out, pray tell?
Because I was
You were
worried
doing fine.
I was worried we were not going to win the battle.
Is this something we have to be aware of every time something might go a little awry? Is that suddenly you're a demon and that's something we have to put up with and put back in its box?
I'm going to roll a deception for this.
Be my guess.
not,
Can I roll insight?
not every time. Oh,
Oh,
Nat
one
20!
That
on
is
the
the one
deception.
for anyone who's looking.
Nat 20.
yeah, I got a 1. He says like not every time, but he's pushing.
Right, sure. Because we'll believe you after that's done.
As long as my emotions are in check, we should be fine.
Anus, I have known you a long time. Throughout this entire trip, you have made a point of not trusting anyone with information. You have not trusted us when we have trusted you, and things would have helped us all. You don't trust us. You are a liability bringing out this demon whenever we fight. I don't think we should carry on this journey together.
I feel like we don't have that option at the moment.
I point my shotgun at him. We kind of do.
I,
I would just like to remind everybody that Innes has been saving our lives very consistently. No matter the truths that he's withheld from us.
Maybe he is saving us because he needs us to sacrifice us to demons.
No.
How can I believe such statements from someone who's only lied to us?
Can we believe anything anybody says? We have to trust them. Been through worse together.
I will lower my shotgun. It is now pointing at his knees.
Gonna kneecap him.
I can assure you.
Wilson's now holding it straight rather than up at an angle.
I can assure you this. I will not let him out again, unless the situation is completely dire.
Define completely dire.
We're
Like
dying
we are-
on the floor of Helios.
Everyone that is going to die, that type of situation.
I feel bringing out an enemy when we're about to die and in a dire situation would only make things worse. If you can guarantee that he won't come out again. But I cannot see how this would help in our quest.
I can't guarantee he will never come out again. As long as you take him down quickly, it's fine.
This puts a conundrum on the situation, though. If he is only coming out when we're all on the brink of death, then it's not exactly an optimal situation to take him down quickly.
You make a fair point.
Can I
situation-
make a sort of history check to remember how the demon came out? Was it an instant switch where Janus disappeared and the demon came out, or did the demon sort of come out of Janus himself?
Okay. Yeah, you can make a check. See if you caught it in kind of the heat of the moment. Yeah, go for a history.
Plus a d4. It's not going to make too much of a difference. Yeah, that's
9.
low.
Okay.
Yeah, 9.
So yeah, it was quite in the heat of a battle, but you did catch that it was. One thing you remember is that just before it happened, Janus kind of like went slightly limp and like he kind of lost. You can't see his face, so he can't really describe it that way. But like, when he was kind of like poised and ready for battle, his muscles kind of sagged slightly, like it was like a moment, like it was like it didn't seem to be an instant thing. Like that could have been a tell that it was about to happen.
Janus. Wilston. Janus. When You seemed to go limp. Wilston, do you think it is possible to craft something which measures the tenseness of Janus's muscles? Attach a simple, I mean, we have them in the real world. A device that, when were something to go limp, something could be triggered to contain whatever came out.
I have no real interest in measuring Janus's limpness.
Really walked into that one there.
So, I can tell you a bit of like the game mechanics of how it works. Basically, when he
Right.
is... No?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Go for it.
Just because Jonas is telling you about it. So the game mechanics is when he appears, he's on 1 health, and he just regenerates every turn for a set amount of turns until he is either at full health or the amount of turns is over. And that's kind of how he works. So yeah, you get in early, you can kind of solve the issue. But
Okay.
yeah, that's how it works. In
Thank
terms
you,
of game
voice in
mechanics.
the sky. That comforts me.
You're welcome, my friend.
Yeah, so as long as you take him out immediately, it's fine.
Janus, I maintain I am not at all comfortable with this and with how you have acted. I'm very disappointed. However, yes, Beleric is right that you have been helpful at times. Anyway, Eric is just going to walk off a bit, thinking.
What, the zone of truth was going to come out.
He can if he wants.
Oh, good.
Lovely.
Zone of truth, natural ones on deception. From muchness, really.
Yes, true. Well,
Going to, while we're all kind of just awkward silence as Eric is disappointed TM, gonna kind of really slowly like reach into pocket and just kind of push a health potion onto Avelios and be like, oh, we're even.
Janus,
Is this one of mine? Yeah.
oh. Lovely. Well,
No, I do apologize because I haven't written what kind of a health potion that was down. It was the one that you
probably-
bought me right at the very beginning.
It was a standard one.
yes.
Standard one, yeah.
So 2d4
So
plus
5 HP.
2.
Yeah, 5. Solid. Middle of the road.
To help.
Very nice. More than triples my current HP.
So, after that intense discussion, I love that. That was brilliant. You're in the mountains. As I said, the noises have cut down. All you can hear is the soft whistles of the wind over the snowy dunes. We don't need to be on the map anymore, actually. We can go back to this one.
There's a freaky monster that next to us.
Well, there was, but I mean, he's still there. Just because we've gone off the map doesn't mean you've moved away.
True.
The Melungor.
Everything just ceases to exist.
The Melungor is still lying there, looking, looking harvestable.
Right, well,
Leave you to it.
are they done? I'm just going to look towards Beleric. Are they done with all the tent things, do you think?
Yeah, he's turned around, so I think so.
Okay. Excellent.
Bye.
Just because it didn't seem right to start looking at what this thing could do with lightning when they were having, negotiations about the future of humankind and demons.
That's fair enough. You're going to make it messy.
Possibly.
I'm going to take a step back.
It might be wise. And yeah, gonna take a good old look at the Melungor, see if there's anywhere I can figure out how it was channeling or producing lightning. and if there's anything I can do to replicate that.
Before I step back, I'm going to put a hand on your shoulder and go, good luck, and particularly inspire you, because I don't know what happens, but I don't want to get my hands messy.
Fair enough. Thank you.
There's some issues with the stream going on, I believe. I'm not quite sure what issues going on.
No.
YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering.
Looking at the stream, it still seems to be up
It's up.
on the front end.
Well, I think it's only us in there anyway, so we shall just continue. Hoping the video will still be okay after the stream's over.
Tech issues that aren't me.
I think the video will be fine after the stream's over anyway, and that's when people actually view it. So
yeah.
What are you doing?
Hello, people watching.
Yes, I was taking a look at the
you broke your thumb.
Melungor.
Yes, I broke my thumb.
Was it like
Kayak, whitewater rafting.
Sorry.
I'm a silly
Painful.
boy. Sorry, carry on.
It's alright. Yeah, looking for how the Melungor produced or maintained a channel of lightning, possibly something to do with the nubs mentioned on the back of its neck, and whether there's anything I can do to extract or note down about or reproduce. I am an alchemist. I did this lightning in a bottle.
Okay, well, that would depend. I mean, how are you going about this? Are you just looking at it, or are you starting to cut it up?
Yeah, very gently taking one of my silver daggers and like almost autopsy level of clinical precision, just sort of peering in and trying to figure out what I know about general creature anatomy, which isn't much unless it's a sea creature.
Okay.
So yeah.
You're gonna need to roll me a survival.
Survival, alrighty. Bardic Inspiration, which puts that at a 19. That's an 8 on the D8. Thank you very much, Bella.
Hey, what was that?
19.
19, sorry. I'm just reading through the shit you can get. Lovely. Well, in that case, you set down to slowly dissect the creature. What's everyone
that was a
else
19,
doing?
yeah.
Yeah, what's everyone else doing in the meantime?
I'm watching avidly just in case the metal dagger conducts anything.
It's one of my silver daggers.
Okay.
To be fair, Beleric doesn't know that. He's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm experimenting how to try and make a limp detector.
Okay.
Change my mind over there.
Interesting. So there's some weird metallic shapes being built over in one corner.
Yeah. And I'm also like walking up to James every now and then to like poke him to like feel.
Janus is just gonna go retrieve his other stone.
Can I go and try and with a sharp object? If someone lends me a dagger or something, because I don't have my own. Can I try and cut through the hide, see if I can make anything akin to a protective.
Are you harvesting from it as well?
I'm like, this is a hardy creature. Maybe its pelt has hardy properties.
Yeah. So I mean, you're both dissecting it and harvesting it for parts. So
yeah.
You want to roll a survival as well?
Oh, okay. Yeah, great.
My dagger if you
21
it afterwards.
21. Okay. In that case, you both sit down to take the creature apart. You're working together on this kind of feat, and you kind of like speaking with each other because there's an order you kind of have to do these things in, right? You got to go from one part to the other part to get this part out, which kind of relieves these parts to get them out. And in order, the first thing you're going to remove are its fangs, and you place them in a small pile to the side. And then you take away its fur, you start carving it away, and you manage to get a nice, full, clean pelt of fur off of it. But the one thing that you notice that you haven't noticed up until this point, or maybe it's changed since it's died, but you haven't noticed it yet. But its underbelly, the fur there, seems to be not really white. It's more kind of like a silvery blue, like it's literally silvery blue, instead of white like the rest of the creature. Maybe it's been quite hard to notice because the creature itself was glowing blue from the lightning, but now you notice it, and you can cut that away and place it separately.
I'd like to say that Evelius would have probably been quite well acquainted with the animal's underbelly, being under there most of the match.
Yeah, perhaps. Maybe you did spot it.
It's familiar.
Yes. So you have the fangs, you have
Silvery
the
blue.
fur,
Silvery blue.
you have the blue silvered fur, and then you work your way down to the tail, which seems to have some more of these possibly conducting, electrifying nubs on it. And you take that and you put it in a section. And you take the claws and you place them somewhere else as well. The last thing that you take from the creature are the small nubs that are kind of around the back of its head, and you place them in another pile. And then that's pretty much all of the useful things that you can take from it. And all that's left is the meat, which you can place in another pile. And you guys have managed to gather everything from the creature that is useful. The fangs, the fur, the tails, the claws, the horns, and the pelt.
Incredible. Unfortunately, I can't carry anything, so hopefully someone's strong.
I mean, I'd recommend Janus strength, but I'm not sure how well that's in anybody's interest currently.
I think we should give Janus all the powerful magic items.
What could possibly go wrong?
Do we have any idea as to what certain things do? Will that take like a rest? Will it take?
I mean, you can go for a wall if you want, or you can ponder on it over a short rest and like discuss it between yourselves, and I'll tell you what. I mean, I imagine you want to go for a short rest anyway.
That's fair.
So yeah, I can.
We do have a nice area of cleared cliff
Yes, however,
currently,
it's
so
going to start getting cold quite soon.
I can get the water rack out.
Okay, you definitely can. So I mean, yeah, what are you guys doing?
Oh, we'll call for Hargren to come back over eventually.
Oh yeah, because we're meant to go meet.
So in actual fact, after you guys have dissected the creature and spent some time doing this will have counted towards part of your long rest. Hargren, you'll see his figure kind of like wandering across over the snow as he's noticed that the storm just kind of cut out. He's going to have felt enough confidence to kind of walk back over to you guys. And oh, lads, you seem to have done the unthinkable here. And first off, I have to say, I did not doubt you for 1 minute. And from the deepness of my heart, I am sorry
Side check.
that I had to run away from this one.
Oh my god. 25.
Okay. So when he says he had full faith in you, he's got a little bit of kind of like a, yeah, no, I didn't look on his face. But when he says he's truly sorry that he had to run away from this one, he does seem to be being a little bit more genuine when he says that. But he's looking over at the different pile of beast parts that you've got there. That's incredible. I will put lots of money on the line for any of the parts of this beast if you're willing to sell. I'm sure the king himself, Ingvar Kragstrom, will empty out the treasury for any of these pieces of the legendary monster that has been told as
We
tales.
will let you know. Yes, thank you. We will let you know what we will part with when we get closer back.
He turns to Beleric. And if I could ever so beg you to come up with a new story that we can tell the children to scare them at night. Please. We would be in your honor. We'd be in your debt.
Well, inspiration has recently struck, so what I do without my muses.
Lovely. So yeah, he's returned. No
Did you say that
wonder.
we get a short rest
Yeah, so you
through
can
this,
be
by the
having
way?
a short rest throughout this if you would like. You can get to roll your hit dice. Are you getting the Vorzarak out?
I'm gonna play the Song of Rest as I try and strum through a new song to really mess up some children.
You know what?
Um,
I am going to get the balls rack out.
Lovely. So
Everyone
have a
also
long
gets another 1d8 hit points.
for every roll, right? You can add into the 8 for the Song of Rest, I think.
Ooh, let me have like blam.
I think it is.
Was really useless. Let's try this one.
Oh no, it's just one.
It's just one extra. It's a
So
1d8.
you can go into your character sheet and press the S rest button, and it will prompt you to roll some hit dice if you would like. Then you can get an extra 1d8 at the end of it all. And yeah, you guys mill around whilst you are in the lovely warmth of the Vorzarak. As you place it down, the first thing it does is breathe out a big bellowing breath of hot air, which instantly makes the surroundings nice and warm, and it starts to melt some of the snow, which also begins to kind of evaporate off the stone. And yeah, it doesn't seem to be hostile at all. It is just doing what you've seen it do before, just making the area hot and warm. So are you sitting down having this short rest? Are you doing anything else during the short rest, or do you just want to skip to what you discover about the creature's parts?
I feel like now would be as good a time as any to take a sleep. It will take us another day to leave this place. We may as well use this heat and this natural protection. Anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Sounds
just
to
saying,
me.
we may as well. We have a moment for a long rest.
Yeah. I mean, you can spend the first 2 hours of the long rest as kind of like a group discussion time if you would like, or if you just want to skip past it, that's fine. It's up to you guys.
And we can.
Take the stage, people.
I would like
Just-
to. Oh, sorry. No, you go first. I feel like I'm
I'm
gonna
still just
ramble.
tinkering to find out how limp Janus is.
Okay, I'll have a think on that in between sessions if that's all right.
Mm.
So, yeah, we can get that. It's a thing that happens. Yeah.
Eric is going to. Hopefully, everyone is sort of sat around. He's going to sit in the. Sit with everyone. We have been traveling together for a long time now. Today has brought up certain issues. Beleric, you made a very good point. Everyone has secrets. Everyone has things that they don't say. I'll be honest, though, Janus, when yesterday you said that you didn't trust us, it hurt me. I can understand why, but I don't feel if we are fighting together, we cannot be afraid that the person behind us will stab us in the back. And I'm not talking about you specifically, Janus. If we don't trust each other, then we are not aligned. We cannot work together effectively. Now, I'm not asking anyone to reveal any private family things, but what I would ask, if there is anything that can affect our ability to complete this quest or affect our safety, please can we take this time to talk about it, so at least we're prepared. Yes, Janus.
He points to Hargren.
I can go on a walk if you want.
If you could, please.
All right, lads. All right. Kind of grumpy.
This is incredible.
Stands up and
Just
trudges
wanders into
away.
the snow.
Yeah.
I hear the
Goes-
Great
Maybe
Divide is
sometime.
lovely this time of year.
He goes to the very edge of the radius of the Warzarak, which is you'll
A
have it in your
kilometer
inventory. I believe it is. I think
It's 500 meters each way, so 500 radius.
yeah,
You
500
could just go to
feet,
the
so
other
you-
side of the
You
walls.
can go 500 feet away. You might not go that far actually, but he goes enough away that you can think, as long as he's not using any magic to listen in, he won't be able to hear you. He'll kind of turn around and give you like a bit of a thumbs up in the distance. And you hear kind of a shout, "Is this good?"
Hopefully we can't hear him.
You can hear him because he's shouting very
Okay.
loudly.
It's-
But very, very faintly.
We will pretend we can't hear him because that means it's far enough.
You see him kind of like drop his hand and he sits down and sets up his sleeping bag and his little tent. And
Bless
he
him.
gets out a little pot and he tries to put together a little stove to cook himself some food. Let's continue.
Thank you, Janus. Good idea.
Well, as you know, I've already revealed my thing. I guess I've got to slightly confirm this with Gage first, though, because the whole wife thing is still a thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So James continues.
Please God to tell me. Is my wife still a thing? Anyway, guys.
He has to try and like backlog in his memory. Like, is this okay? As one of the conditions to keep me exiled from the kingdom, a radical part of the kingdom took my wife hostage. That is why I don't trust any of you. I don't know who's working for who. And considering the whole issue of the king being kidnapped as well, I don't know if any of you could be working for the other side.
Do you know where she is?
No.
Or who took her?
I just know that when I came home, she was gone.
With a note left behind.
Of course, yeah.
What was on the note?
Why you got to do this to me?
It basically just outlined what's happened, why they've taken her, and what might happen if you disobey the command of the council, the decree of the council. You basically were told by the whole council members that was their decision, and whoever took them just really wanted to make sure that decision stood. So, I don't know who took them, but this is what the note says, and obviously you agreed in the council meeting that you would willingly go to exile.
I then relay that to the group.
It was the council who made that decision.
Correct.
This was back when the council was a lot smaller than it is now. For clarification, the council does grow, has been growing quite rapidly, so it was a much smaller group of people back then.
Do we know? Can I make a history check as to who would have been long-standing members?
Send me a message with that on Discord and I shall make a list of names.
Checking a list, checking it. Gonna find out who's a little bitch.
Gonna find out who's kidnapping why.
Somebody is going to die.
I feel like you could just
But
make songs
just humming
for
this under his
everything that
breath.
happens. Oh no. Okay.
Okay, is the council. Somebody is going to die.
Well, hopefully by them merely reaching out to you for this quest, they may be more receptive should we get back and
If they wanted us to come back
hope-
alive.
yes, that's a whole different question, but if I can, then I would help how I can. Hopefully we can deal with that. Thank you for discussing though.
Of course.
It is hard to lose one you care about to something you cannot control. If there's any aid to lend, then I'm here. I'm a really little pirate.
I appreciate it.
You know he's being honest because he called himself a pirate.
Wondered if you notice I let that.
It's cutting out a little bit. Not internet, I think it's just because you were speaking
Yeah.
quietly.
Okay. I wondered if you'd noticed I let that slip. We were doing honesty hour, and you all seem capable and not too likely to tell the wrong ears. So some of you already knew. I'm not the most above board all the time myself. My younger days were more lively and less demony. That's really all there is to me.
Interesting.
Looks to Beleric.
Everyone swivels.
What kind of thing is it that you'd like me to reveal? Anything that will help us on this misadventure?
Predominantly, I'm hoping to find any things that may cause us problems down the line, but also it may be just a team building exercise.
Well, I must confess, you know a lot about me. I'm not a quiet individual. You know where I come from. And I suppose that's the part that causes trouble. If there is anything you would like to know specifically, I can tell you. Direct you to my nearest biography.
Was there any one moment that was the instigator for your wanting to leave?
Well, you if there were a bunch of demons on your doorstep.
It's fair.
I didn't like the situation that we were being put in. We were being vilified. We were friends by association. And you know me more than most. I don't really like being tarred with the same brush as run based on instant assumptions.
Being seen as just an orc.
Least of all, one that associates with their demons that have instilled themselves upon us.
How about yourself, Wilston?
We swivel to Wilson.
Hello. I'm just tinkering and stuff.
Okay. Well, in the interest of fairness, I'll tell you a little about myself. I mean, the most obvious thing is the mushroom.
Wondering.
It's strange. I don't really myself know how it works. It's been with me all my life. However, one thing I do know is that without it, I would surely be dead. It feels alive. It feels a part of me, but it. I cannot deny that it carries and is responsible for a lot of my power, whether it is me, whether it is symbiosis. Two organisms living together. You've seen me cast spells. You have seen spells that seemingly come from another source. It cannot cast by itself, but if I were to teach is the wrong word, but Eric's just going to cast a spell into the mushroom, and you see it sort of gets enveloped by the mushroom. In fact, he shoots it down, and it curls into the manifolds of the bottom of the mushroom. And then Eric just puts his hands up, and the same sort of stylized spell shoots out of the top into the sky. We work together, and it has grown with me. Arguably, it has outgrown me. It has an interesting way of being. I don't know. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer, but I don't. Sometimes things get lost when you've lived for hundreds of years. You might jog my memory.
Does it have a will, mind of its own? You said it was alive.
Yes, this will be up to you.
So you see Eric clutches at the small brown teddy bear that sits on his belt. It does not, to my knowledge, have a consciousness. It does not. It is a living thing, as all plants are. It has never spoken to me. It can tap into my senses. You may have seen sometimes a sword that should have hit me might be glanced off by the mushroom itself. It can move of its own volition to help me, but I don't think it's conscious. It does have a difference to me. Mushrooms live for decay. They are a vital part of life and a vital part of death. But the more death I see, the stronger it is. As I say, I don't know the connection, but it derives power from somewhere. But it is the life cycle. You cannot have life without death. You cannot have opportunity without decay.
I see. Thank you.
It's okay. And if you ever think of any questions, please ask. I spent far too much time in battles alone to give up this opportunity.
Companionship is certainly its greatest pleasure. Have people travel alongside that you know will be there when you get to port or even on the ship with you. Yes, understand. If I think of any questions, then I shall direct them your way.
Okay.
Some honesty. Very interesting. Any more comments? Lovely. Well, you spend the rest of this 2 hours of downtime investigating the items that you've managed to harvest from the Melungor. First one that you're probably interested in would be the silvery blue fur. Seems to be the most valuable and useful part. And I imagine, Wilson, you would have probably had the most things to say about what kind of things you could craft with these weapons, with these parts.
Yes.
So
Oh, a
would have...
toenail! I can turn this into a nuke.
Yeah, so you would have been probably the one kind of like telling everyone kind of the best things that you could use these for. So this pelt we used for two different things that you can think of, kind of off the top of your head. You can either use it as armor. You know, it's a pelt. You can infuse it with some armor and wear it as a pelt. And in that case, you feel like it would give you an immunity to lightning damage. If you wore armor that was crafted with this pelt. But it's also something you could maybe wrap around the haft of a spear that would be able to, if you added a couple of the little knobbly bumps, you could make the weapon do an extra 1d8 lightning damage when you hit with it. That's probably the rarest and most valuable part of the creature that you were very... You kind of realise that you're very lucky to be able to harvest that as successfully as you were. And so yeah, you can do one of those two things, and if you... With any of these things, if you think of like, oh, maybe we could use it for this instead, then you're welcome to say that, and I'll try and make it work. You know, if you want to use the pelt for like quilt in your bed, I can think of some cool things it might give you. You know, things like that.
Trick blanket.
Yeah. You know, If you can think of anything else that isn't what I'm saying here, then by all means go for it.
It shocks you at precisely 6 a.m. to wake up.
An alarm blanket. Okay.
Oh my god, can we like put it on Janus's pauldrons to give him a shock when he goes limp to tense his muscles back up? He's just like
What, like a defib? It's just-
yeah,
Exactly
yeah.
like a defib.
Let's go, demon. Clear.
And then the rest of the fur, the normal parts of the fur, you feel like it could have similar effect. Only it would be reduced. You would have resistance to thunder. Also lightning damage. You would have resistance to lightning damage instead of immunity if you made some armor out of this fur. And if you were to put it on a weapon, over the hilt of a weapon, it would do a d6 instead of a d8 initial damage. Both of those furs, armor made out of them, will allow you to suffer no adverse effects in temperatures up to, I think it's -50 in this area. So you will be fine if you had armor made of this. Both of those have those effects.
Would it be just your normal armor, like you infuse it with this, or is it armor itself
You
with
will
different
need to
ACs?
make armor out of it. Yes, it will only be some form of hide armor. But I mean,
Okay, so it would be the hide AC stuff.
I mean, it'll probably be up to Wilson, who's the guy that makes shit. So if Doom has an idea of how he will be able to use it to help you guys, then by all means just say it, and we can. Now, I'm sure if you want to try and infuse it into some plate mail, then we can try and make that work.
The really cool cloak.
So yeah, those are what the furs do. The next thing you look at would probably be, say we'll look at the fangs next. And make a nice necklace to go on top of your armor. This creature is a really powerful monster. Anyone who might recognize these fangs on a necklace worn around your neck, which would be mostly, noble people or most of the people in the dwarven city, or people of kind of a higher stature, would be quite scared by this, and you would probably have an advantage on intimidation checks when interacting with those types of people. When
How
wearing this
long
as
are
a
the fangs?
armor necklace. Well, there's a couple of them are kind of like, most of them are like hand length, kind of length. But
I wonder if I use it as a hairpin.
Oh, definitely. But this is for like all of them. So if you want this effect, you would need to kind of use all of these. I mean, if you wanted to say like, we'll destroy the rest of them and just have this as a hairpin to have the same effect, then I'll let that happen. But you can't use a couple for this and a couple for that. If you want to use it for a hairpin, that's fine. But
I was like, people have like chopsticks through their hair.
yeah, exactly.
So did you say it was advantage on what checks?
Intimidation when interacting with nobles, but it would also include, well, just dwarves in general, because it's quite a well-known dwarven tale.
Okay.
Kind of just
Cool.
anyone who knew what the Melungor was.
Yeah.
Or had heard
which is
legends
mostly
of it.
dwarves and nobles.
Yeah.
Get
Nice.
practicing on my ballad. See how far we can spread that.
And the effect this might have on a weapon, if you place it on a weapon in combination with some of the nubs you've got. So let's say you've got six of the nubs, which seem to be kind of where the lightning is channeled from. So you have enough actually to do 1, 2, 3, 4. You have enough to use these for everything. So ignore the fact that you have enough to use these in everything that you're crafting. So it's all good. So yeah, if you were to use one of these in combination with the fang, you could imitate the effect of when it launched the lightning bolt out. It would not do as much damage. It's just basically a bolt of lightning, a DC 16 dex save, and it's 120 feet long. That'll do 4d6 lightning damage, and you can only use it once per day. So it resets like once at dawn.
How much damage, sorry?
4d6 lightning damage.
DC 16 dex save, 120 foot long. I'm guessing 5 foot wide.
Yes.
Amazing.
You like throw it at a target, and in the line between. I've maybe described this a little bit wrong. So you throw it at a target, and anything between you and the target gets the dex save. The range is 120 feet, and then when it hits, it also does an additional 4d6 to the target, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what you imagine you could do with a weapon with the fang, with the fangs. Yes. Yeah. So the claws, imbued with strength and the power of the Melungor. If you were to put these on some sort of pieces of armor, it would fill you with strength, and you would have an advantage if you had to roll a saving throw against being knocked prone or knocked backwards. Like, it's kicking you around, you could have an advantage on that roll if you had these in a piece of armor. Or the claws in a weapon. No, yeah, claws. The claws are a really cool one. So, really sharp, dangerous if you were to put them into a weapon of some sort. For these, you would probably need to make a new weapon with this, like a. No, you wouldn't. Okay, you can put them into a weapon, and it will increase the critical hit range by 1. So a 19 would be a crit.
Oh,
instead of just a 20. If you were to place
Imagine
these
that
upon a
on a reckless barbarian.
weapon. So those are the two options for the claws that are kind of quite apparent. And then the horns, the little nubs that you've got, are just things that you need to put these in, all of them, for these to have these effects. If the tail, you have a tail. So the tail is doesn't really seem to have any use as an effect for armor, but it appears like it would be useful as like a wand of fireball. However, it casts lightning bolt instead. It's basically kind of like a wand. It's got stiff in kind of like the rigor mortis. You don't need to actually make this. It just is the item that already does this. So with the tail, it's a tunable thing that you can use to cast lightning bolt. It has 7 uses of it. And you cast the 3rd level version of the spell. If you want to, you can use up to 7 runes to increase the level of the spell. So 1 rune, it would be level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Rune?
9. What? Yeah, it has
What
7
are you
runes
saying
on
the
it.
rune? Oh, so not 7 uses. Okay. Oh,
No,
yeah,
7
okay.
runes. And you gain 1d6 plus 1 uses every day at dawn. If you use the last rune, you roll a d20. On a 1, it's useless. It won't be useful again. But yes, that's it. That's it.
It's very cool.
Yes. Save DC 15 on that effect.
Nice.
And yeah, that's kind of everything. And as I said, if you
Was
come
that?
up with
Did we? Sorry, did I miss the meat and the horns? Meat is just for eating horns.
the horns are for
Nothing.
you need to use them with the other stuff. I rolled a number, and if you didn't have enough, you might not have been able to use all of these parts for
Nice.
specifically weapons. But you have enough to use every part as you could. The
very
meat
cool.
itself, the spell. What's the spell called? Heroic Feast, I believe. Hero's Feast. Basically, when you eat a meal, you gain the effects of Hero's Feast. Yes. So when you eat one of like a portion of the meat, your hit point maximum is increased by 2d10. You're cured of all disease and poison. You become immune to poison and being frightened. You make all wisdom saving throws with advantage. Your hit point maximum is increased, and you gain the same number of hit points. So your health goes up by 2d10, and you don't like
And-
lose health as the health goes up, and it lasts for
And
24
how many
hours.
potions?
Now that's the question.
Makes
Wait, how long
sense.
does it? How long does it last?
24
24 hours.
Okay.
You guys can roll this one. 5 of you, you can each roll a d4 for me.
Makes so much jerky out of this guy.
So that's 2 from Eric, 3, 5 portions at the moment.
So I did it again.
2.
2, okay.
Hey.
To Bell as well. And
So 5,
how many from Wilston?
7, 9. Wilston, what have you rolled on a d4?
Hey.
11. You have 11 portions. You can't cook the meat, you need to eat it raw. So you get the idea that you probably need to put it in your bag of holding to keep the effect, because the bag of holding will kind of preserve it.
Get with snow.
Yes, you now have 11 portions of Melungor meat, which give you the effect of the Hero's Feast spell. 24 hours. You just gain the effect as if it was cast upon you when you eat it. Raw meat, you have to eat it raw.
Melungor tartar.
If it goes off or you cook it, then if you cook it really well, the effects might kind of linger, but they'll be lessened. But yeah, if you eat it, you need to eat it raw as it comes. If it rots,
It's a good thing
you'll
it
lose the effect.
cures us from poison then.
Munch that in there. What's that tangy taste? Oh yeah,
Yeah, this is what
that's the
Wilston,
food poison.
this is what Wilston has said to you. These are the things you think you can make, and as I said, if you can come up with any more ideas, feel free. And that is your loot for this whole adventure. And
It's very cool, dude.
Love it.
the XP you gain.
Oh,
God,
yeah.
here we go.
You share between you 20,000 experience points from the Melungor, and
Michael, math.
4,000.
4,000 each. And so the creature that Janus turns into, Bellum, is an extremely high CR creature. However, he's nerfed slightly when he is summoned, and there's extenuating circumstances that mean, unfortunately, you don't get as much XP as you normally would. And if you start abusing this mechanic, you will not get XP. But for now, you'll get 5,000 XP to share between you guys from that one.
1,000.
So 1,000 each. So just 5,000 for each of you.
Lovely.
I'm not sure if I explained this on a stream, but for the context, you people are gaining XP, and once we get to the next kind of chapter of the story, everyone will level up at once. So we'll probably be gaining at least 2 levels, possibly 3 by the time we get to the next arc. And yeah, you're going to be getting some more XP when you return, because this was a long mission. So yeah,
And I maps.
that's kind of the accumulation of your rest, and you kind of have this discussion. Wilson exclaims the things that these can be used for, and he's coming up with different ideas.
Incredibly cool.
And yes, Wilson, you can probably make most of this, given enough time and enough materials. Or you could definitely find a very skilled blacksmith around. In fact, there is probably a legendary blacksmith around who just happened to not have been called on this adventure somewhere in town. So yes. You can take the stage back.
I will tinker with stuff, and while we're walking, I will sit on Belrog's shoulders.
Okay, so you'll all have
On his
taken
head.
this long rest then. You would like to roll, take your long rest?
I'm gonna, and then once we wake up in the morning, I'll take back the Vorzrak into the thing.
Yes. You wake up in the morning. The Vorzrak is banished into the Soul Stone. But the heat's going to stay around for a little bit. You know, the area doesn't instantly go cold. It's a nice, lovely temperature. It's exactly what you want to be waking up to in the morning.
We still have like cold resistance. Is that still like lasting?
No,
It's ran
No.
out. Hence why you need
that's why we have.
Vorzarok.
Hold it.
But you do have 2 pelts that you could throw onto you. You won't get the other effects, but you could argue that you get resistance to the
Bloody.
effects of cold.
Bloody though.
Yeah, they will be a little bit. But I
Oh.
mean, during your long
Do
rest, they've
you
kind
not
of
have any-
risen up a bit. I don't know.
Do you not have any magical cleaning, Beleric? I feel like that's something that
Just like hold it up to the Vozarak and see if we can like cook the inside.
I mean, ask
So I
Wilson.
don't know how
Wilson,
this works.
Wilson's going to be the guy making stuff with it.
With
Just
all
like
my
dry the
strength.
blood a little bit.
Yeah, it's
Maybe a little bit.
up to Wilson. And if he,
Beleric, you have prestidigitation.
Too, but it feels bad, you know.
It's
Um,
icky, yes.
and
Icky
the other
is the
thing,
word.
actually, that you could have taken from the creature is it has a skull as well. I imagine we could come up with some cool effects if you mount it on the figurehead of your ship or something like that.
Yes.
Jane
I am
likes doing
absolutely
things with
thinking-
skulls.
Yeah, I just remembered I still got Yagarath's head.
You do.
Oh no!
Um,
No, my boy.
which, now you've remembered about it, you've gotten used to the weight of it on your leg. And you look down at it, and it's still just as fresh as the day you chopped it off.
Nice.
It hasn't started to decompose or anything like that. It is still exactly the same.
Can I make a check to see if I can intuit why, especially as decomposition is my thing?
Sure. Nature?
Okay.
Or Arcana?
28.
Natural 20 for a 28.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely some sort of magical effect is stopping this from happening. You know that if it was a normal head, it should have been decaying by now. Even demons, most demon corpses decay after you kill them. So it's definitely not normal. It's not just because you're in a cold environment. It's
Do I get the idea that it's linked to what Janus previously said about how Bellum couldn't die, and that the trapping
Yeah.
in the Hellish Soulstone was the way to prevent them from reforming?
Yeah, with the natural 20, I'm going to say, yeah, you have an idea that it's a very high chance that Yagarath is not dead. Despite being decapitated and his head not making any movement or any indications that he's alive, there's a high chance that he's not dead.
I'm going to start a Pokemon collection.
Just a natural 20 on that one, yes.
I'll let everyone know that the fact that he's not decomposing, alongside what Jonas says, implies he might not be dead, and I'm not sure whether this head will cause us any future problems, or whether it'll disappear in the future, whether it will reanimate fully into Yagarath, whether there's anything we can do. But yeah, make everyone aware of that.
Maybe as long as we keep the head away from its main body, it won't regenerate.
Maybe. We should
Maybe we-
definitely keep an eye on it, though.
Maybe we should have chopped his body up in bits and spread them across.
Well, you have left the body behind in the black cell. If we have nothing else, you guys. Yep.
one thing.
go
If
for it.
we're taking the Melungor skull, I believe you said it had an eye. Yeah, big old Cyclops. laser
Which
eye.
it had lightning in the eye, which dissipated after it died.
Okay, that was just pure lightning.
Yeah, so it would just
Cool.
have been kind of like a pit in its skull now.
Okay. Excellent to note.
Sorry if you wanted
Not
to
at
do
all
something
terrifying.
cool with the eye. What was your idea?
Idea.
I wanted a lightning laser cannon to mount to the front of my ship.
Of course you did. What else?
I'm sure you
I'm
can
a
think
simple
of
guy.
some cool stuff that the skull might do. I mean, you have an extra
Oh,
bit of
absolutely.
horn left over anyway, so I'm sure you can come up with some cool ideas. So, after having eliminated most of the dangers in this part of the Great Divide, the one threat that was known to the people has been eliminated. You continue on your journey. There's not going to be any survival checks for now as you have cleared the area. You head back to the city of Rulem with Hargrin leading the charge throughout the snowy mountains. You guys feel pretty confident as you've been up here for a while now that you can make it back in one piece, but you let him lead the way and think he's still being useful. The next day, you get the Vorzarak out and have a nice, lovely sleep. You can always convince yourself that you're on like a tropical island somewhere, bathing in the sun, and you make your way back to Rulem. You descend from the snowy mountains as they start to transform from just pure white snow and fog all around you to rocky outcrops and rubble, and you even start to see the occasional plant here and there as you're walking down. And then you kind of descend past the cloud layer, and the city of Rulem spreads out before you. The mostly stone architecture of the dwarves, if you remember, it's very square and quite uniform. Appears before you again, and it's a welcome sight. You have been away for a while. It's nice to return to the land of the living, as we might say. And Hargrin is having a lovely old chat about the things he's going to do when he gets home. And all the while, he's always been dropping hints about the things that he could do for the city with some of the things that you have acquired from the Melungor. He's thinking, wow, we could use this for helping with this thing, and the king would love this for his image, and we might be able to reform the kingdom of the dwarves if we have this silvery blue fur for the king. It's such an imposing image. Maybe we could do these things. And he's talking like this the whole way back. And you finally get to past the snow, the remnants of the snow, down to kind of like the browny, the trees even in Rulem and kind of like the grassy areas aren't green. It's all kind of like brown and kind of like dull colours. But it's definitely a nice change of scenery as you get the grass, the brownish grass and the brown trees make you feel a little bit happy as you head into the city. And you arrive at the base, if you remember, not technically, I mean, it is a castle. It's a fort, a stronghold of Ingvar. It's kind of like a tiered structured building, which is kind of like a big, really big staircase looking structure. Big kind of like blocks of stone go up and back until there's the tallest staircase at the back, which has some kind of like detail and engravings on it. And you stand there at the grand staircase that leads up to in the middle of the first step where it goes inside. And Hargrin kind of stands there and lets out a big, deep sigh. Turns and looks at you. Well, I am sure the king would love to speak with you guys, but I understand if you need to be on with whatever other important business you have. As I've said, I'm sure, me personally, I would spend an arm and a leg for some of the things that you've brought back, and the king would pay even more. If you would like to speak with him, you're welcome to. But if not, it has been a tale. I shall be telling my grandkids and my grandkids' grandkids this tale for the rest of my life.
If you give me
Thank you.
2 more days, I can provide you with a better tale, I'm sure of it.
I would be honoured. And we'll keep it in a book, and it'll be our family heirloom. I hope you guys enjoyed the journey as much as I did. Even though I didn't get to see much action, I felt like I was a part of it. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Well, are you coming in?
as we're going.
Do you have drinks?
I'm sure the
Should
king
we-
will provide you with gifts.
Should we work out what we want to keep and use it for, and then see what we have left, and then see what we can flog to
Yeah.
the king?
You would have had you would have had time to discuss this on your journey back down if you would like. Then you can do that.
I mean, in real life.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have had actual discussion.
Yeah.
In game as well.
I want to keep the furs.
Not
Those
gonna lie, I
seem
just really want
very-
a coat out of this. This sounds great.
It could be like our uniform.
Kasash.
Yeah.
Well, you can only
Wearing-
make 2.
It'll look nice. The melon skin, like the green with the
Fuck off, dickhead.
with the red accent, you know.
I think the Wand
hate
of
you.
Lightning Bolt is incredible.
I feel like we could flog that to the king.
I would love that. I think the Wand of Lightning Bolt is the
You can
strongest
cast
thing.
a level 9 spell with it.
Oh.
So
Okay, let's
I'll
not.
repeat it again. With one of the runes, it casts a level 3
Yeah.
lightning bolt, and you can use all the runes if you want to increase the level of the spell. So you can cast up to a level 9 spell. Just remember, if you use all of them, you roll on d20, and on a 1, the item becomes unusable.
Okay, let's not flog that.
I would love to keep that. I mean, to be fair, like these are all very cool. We don't need to get rid of any of
Hargren
them.
will
No,
say, I'm sure the king will have some gifts for you for taking the Melungor down either way, even if you don't want to sell him items.
No, but we could build like a rapport with the king. Get him on our side in the council.
I think 19 crit would be incredible for Janus. The pelts would be great for anyone. Lightning Bolt, amazing. Hero's Feast is amazing. Yeah, Fangs for if Belle wants to be super scary.
Why don't we treat the king to some of the meat?
We've got.
What are you gonna do
11.
with it? Nah.
We can give him.
Yeah, have
there's
some
5 of us.
raw.
There's 5 of us,
Melungor Tata.
and we have 11. So yeah, let's sell him one, and we have 10, and that's 2 each.
Perfect rolls.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Right. So the consensus is you want to keep everything, but you'll sell him a slice of the meat.
Yeah.
We'll honor him with some meat.
Right. So
Really bloody, messy. Just pull it out of the pocket, like.
So, yeah, you are going in, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yep.
Hargren will, well, follow me then. As he walks up through the buildings, through the building, past the rooms, past some guards. And they're kind of looking at you. I imagine some of you kind of have, like, you know, like some of the furs across your shoulders. You know, maybe you have, like, I imagine you haven't just shoved it all in the bag of holding, or have you?
No.
Okay. Yes. So every one of the guards is like usually the dwarven guards are very good at their job. They can stand very still for a very long time, still as a rock, and stare forwards for hours upon end. But as you're walking past them, every single one of them, their eyes track you as you walk across the building. They turn their heads and they follow you for as long as they can see you before you go around another doorway, staring at the treasures that you have upon you. And you actually hear a couple of whispers as well. They are definitely breaking very many protocols here, and they might suffer some backlash, maybe some fines, but it's impressive. It's quite hard to comprehend, really, but the Melungor is quite a big central piece of kind of life here in Rulham. It's a scary monster. It's always a bit like the Slenderman, you know. It's like it could be something. It could always just decide to come down and just wipe out the whole city. And it's really impressive what you guys have done, and you can tell as you're walking past the people. And Hargren, he
We've
just
just
leads
murdered
you.
Mothman.
You've murdered what?
I can't believe we've murdered Mothman.
And you
Step
make
1, find their cryptid. Step 2, kill it.
No.
you make your way towards the throne room of Ingvar, and Hargrin does not even bother knocking. He doesn't say anything to the guards. The guards are kind of slack-jawed, staring at the things you've got in their hand, so they didn't even try and stop him, as Ingvar just swings open the thick double stone doors to the throne room. And you just manage to catch the king seating himself on the throne and like kind of straightening out some of his furs, and you see him take up a strong stoic position as you stride into the room. And he greets you with a booming voice. Legends, welcome back. I trust that your journey has been good. And you see next to him Ivar, stood looking not too happy. If you remember, he doesn't have the best relationship with his father. And he's been here for almost a week now. So it seems like whatever's discussions have been going on have started to grate upon him. He doesn't look too happy, but he gives you all nods and smiles as you approach upon him. Yes, the king greets you.
Indeed, our trip was fruitful.
The king. I shall show him up on screen for you now. Big stoic dwarf. Had to come on a golden throne with treasures around him. Golden throne, a golden crown, golden jewelry everywhere, lots of gold. He's very rich. He has a lot of money. He has the whole
That's a
dwarven
lovely big
treasury.
boy.
So,
What a lad.
yes, he's greeted you. And I guess I can show you the image that I used to draw inspiration when I'm giving descriptions of it as well. There you go. That is a rough idea of what the dwarven castle looks like.
You're going to hate me for this, and I'm really sorry, but it looks like it's made of chocolate.
Lovely.
It's
It's
really
very
smooth.
nice.
Thank you.
I
First
mean,
we
this
have,
is a compliment. It's very pretty.
Thanks.
first we have the
Yeah.
Melungor, and then the Dwarven Fort.
Alright, guys. Okay. I see your point. Alright. My naming is bad. I can't. My images are bad. I can't come up with great things, but it's right. The
Yeah,
king.
No, it's good. It's good.
The king has greeted you.
But
What
Well-
should we try and sell them?
I would say, I would go to the king. Alas, our intended trip went awry. However, we came into an interesting foe along the way. I believe you're aware of the Melungor.
The Melungor. I see. That will be the
Well,
Melungor hanging on your belts and your shoulders.
if you so wish to display your opulence and power, we could sell you this part of the Melungor. And can we style the
Yeah.
11th piece to be the heart?
Go for it.
You could preserve this and hold it in your kingdom, a symbol of your strength and power.
As he looks at it, you see a kind of glint in his eye. As he kind of like inches himself up a little bit on his throne, and his bracelets kind of like jingle and jangle together. And he looks at it very intently, and you see insights if anyone would like to roll one.
Got a 9.
Oh, wait, no, I've
14.
got good insight. 15.
12.
15, 15, 12 is Wilston rolling an insight.
there's so many things that you've put on the screen. There's my question. Insight.
Yes, well, the idea is you look at them and then close them.
I keep them open because when I close them, I can't open them again.
I'll put them in the Discord afterwards. I don't think the king is in the Discord chat, if I remember correctly.
I think he is.
NPCs? Yeah, he is. He's there. What was your roll?
A 9.
9, okay. Everyone above a 10. In fact, Wilson as well. It's quite easy to determine what's going on in his eyes. Greed. You see the glint of greed in his eyes. He seems to be a man who puts a lot of emphasis on monetary power and wealth. You see the glint of greed twinkling as he leans forward and looks at it. You put forward a very tempting offer. I was intending to bestow upon you gifts for dealing with this issue. I think I still shall, but I am very interested in this trophy. Is it simply just the heart? Does it have anything more? Would it work as a lightning charge? Anything magical? I understand the beast was a stormy creature. Tell me, have you figured anything out about this heart of the beast?
I look at Bell.
Cannot. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Um, yes, actually. We established that you could work with the heart in such a way as to obtain some of these lightning powers from it, but it has to be done with immense skill and precision. Slightest mistake, the lack of skill from a craftsman would surely ruin all of its potential.
Okay. So that's very deceptive. Would you like to roll as a deception?
I would love to.
Do you want to give you? Can you give yourself bardic inspiration?
Oh, good question. Can I?
I mean, you can't really, but I'll allow it.
It's okay. I don't think I can roll below a 20 something, so
Okay.
I feel like this is like peak cockiness here. I'm gonna die.
Oh,
Can't do maths. I can't do maths. I'm really struggling here. 29?
Well, he cannot physically roll anything to contest that. He leans forward, and the glint in his eyes grows, and I shall have it. He kind of gestures with one of his hands that are covered in the bracelets at someone who's kind of milling around in the corner. You don't really notice them until now, but they prance on over with a bag that you would recognise as a bag of holding. This one, it's a lot more fancy than a bag of holding. It's got lots of gold and kind of like gems embedded on the outside of it. So you might not actually recognise it as a bag of holding. But when he comes over and starts pulling huge bars of metal out of it, you understand that this will be a bag of holding. So someone walks over with the bag, and the king places his hand in and starts pulling out bars of metal, which he places on the armrest of his table and slides them forward to you slightly as he gets out. Do one of you want to roll this? Or do you just want... I'll just roll it, never mind. As he pushes forward 6 bars of metal across the armrest towards you. I will allow anyone who think they might canonically know what this metal might be to roll some sort of check. I mean, Wilson, you're probably going to be able to try and figure out what the metal might be. But yeah, I mean, as a druid, you probably wouldn't have much of an idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about metals.
Anyone else wants to try and argue for them to make a roll?
I would like to try and like lean over and see what if Ivar is like mouthing anything at us. I'm gonna try and do a bit of a what is it?
Okay. Go for it, yeah.
Would
I mean, you can do
I
that
realised
instead
that-
of a roll. I like that.
would I know as like a low class noble in my time in the military of any type of equipment it was made from that?
Okay, that's a good argument. You can make a roll. Make a it's not really nature, but it is kind of nature because it's a metal. Yeah, make a nature check. I like your idea, Hal. So yes, you kind of you make a questioning face towards Ivar, and he mouths back to you. Is anyone else wanting to make a roll? Wilson, you'll
Would
be
I
able
have-
to make a nature check as well because you are a craftsman, and this is kind of what you do to try and figure out what this
Given-
metal might be.
Nature, yeah.
Yeah.
Given that I've previously helped Wilston on some of his projects and also are an
Okay.
alchemist that
You can make a roll
likes
as well.
expensive things,
Yes.
By lieu of my expensive taste.
Okay.
yep. Nature, haha.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, Genesis is a metal you've not seen before. Not because it's, like, not noble quality metal, but probably because it's above your tier of noble quality metal. Michael, metal isn't your thing, you're a druid, you don't really know what it is.
Fine.
But as Ivar mouths the word adamantium to you, Wilson and Ivelios kind of realise that this is adamantium, a kind of legendary metal for legendary people. You would know that a bar of this is worth approximately 5,000 gold pieces. However,
Oi.
it's not really. You can't just go out on the street and find someone who sells it. It's more kind of you need to be able to find someone who sells it. The hard part about acquiring it is finding it to buy it in the first place. Because he slides 4 bars of adamantium across the armrest. What say you? For the heart. And I will have some gifts for you as well. Don't worry.
Seems an incredibly generous offer, Your Majesty. Thank you.
Yes. As he kind of puffs his chest a little bit. But this just means a lot to me, and I think this is a fair compensation for the deed that you have done.
I have what?
Does anyone have the spell Glyph of Warding? It's a
Why
third
are
level
you
spell
asking me?
available to bards, artificers, and wizards. And I was wondering if no one has it here, whether I could, because basically my idea is if we can place the heart down somewhere, Glyph of Warding is essentially you can put a spell somewhere, and when it's activated, it goes off. I was wondering maybe we could get Ivar to attach, or one of you two to attach a little lightning cantrip to the Glyph of Warding, so that when it is touched by someone, it sort of crackles and explodes with lightning a bit once we're gone. But
Fortunately, I don't.
talking about that sort of thing. But I was just trying to work out what it was called. I'd forgotten. I was
Yeah, it doesn't look like Ivar has that,
fair enough.
unfortunately.
More stylistic anyway.
I like the idea, though. That does sound pretty cool.
I did say it had to come with a lot of very careful crafting.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. Like
I mean,
it could explode and.
It was
Yeah.
such good deception that even you guys started to believe it for a second.
True.
Yes, he pushes these bars towards you and he sits back. He seems pretty confident that you'll accept this offer.
I
Yes.
say I just wanted him to fire a random crafts person because he wasn't good enough.
You're gonna ruin someone's life.
Yeah, well, these things happen.
Who knows what a king will do if he messes up the heart of a Melungor?
I'd like
The
to
Melungor.
I'd like to just take a single step forward, give a really low courtly bow, and start speaking in Dwarvish.
Yeah, his smile, he
Ah.
gets a bit of a grin as you do that.
Goes, my lord, king of dwarfs, this is a princely gift for such a piece of the
Yes.
Melungor's heart. It truly is magnificent, and out of the bottom of our heart, we thank you. And I'd like to
It's I
attempt
that
to
thank
use
you.
panache. I'd like to attempt to use panache to charm him.
How does that work?
So I can make a persuasion check contested by their insight check. Must be able to hear me. We must share a language, and if it is not hostile to me, it is charmed by me for a minute. While charmed, it regards me as a friendly acquaintance.
Okay. Does it have any stipulations of what might happen if it doesn't affect the creature? Does it notice, or does it say anything
Nope.
about that?
The effect ends immediately if you or your companions harm it, but there's no stipulation of anything like that. That's a 22.
Well, is there an argument for Ivar rolling in? Did you say it was an insight roll?
Yeah, it's an insight.
Can I make an argument for Ivar rolling this roll as well?
Sure. It usually affects one creature at a time.
Yes.
But
yeah, I understand that, but I just think I'll go for it. What was your roll?
22.
22. Okay, you rolled a 12, and I've rolled a 6. So he's now his smile grows a bit brighter as he looks at you. And what did you say? He regards you as a friend.
A friendly acquaintance.
Okay.
It's the standard line for all charm text.
Yeah.
Like, truly, such a gift as this, beyond compare. But
this is not the gift. This is good payment for the heart. The gifts will come later.
I see. At
a feast
source
that I
first.
hope you will attend.
Oh, of course, it would be our honor. Truly, the might and wealth of the dwarves is legend.
That it is. Please, you may continue.
Of course. Would be our honor to attend, and I'm sure that all the lavish accoutrement of this kingdom will be laid out in state. I'm sure only the best is fit for your majesty. And of course, the prince dwarfs himself. And I'm going to give a bow, only ever so slightly mocking to Ivar. But again, it is a very deep, very courtly bow.
The king scoffs at this and doesn't even turn to regard his son as you speak of him.
Heartbreaking.
The smile drops
Brutal.
slightly.
Oh, baby.
Yep.
Well,
I am still friendly to him though, so.
In that case, we'll see you at the feast.
yes, I shall bring your gifts and present them to you then. In the meantime, please, he kind of gestures at the bars, and a couple more people kind of like stream out of a door, and it takes one of them to lift one bar because they're pretty heavy and made of very rare and valuable metals, and each of them walk over to you and kind of present. There's 4 bars, and they present one to each of you guys, apart from Avelios, because you're kind of in front at the moment speaking to the king.
And I like hurl this bar.
Yeah, it's not that heavy. It's just holding 2 at once might be a bit much for commoners who don't have
Speak
the
for
best
yourself.
statistics.
I have to say, I feel rather left out.
Well, as friends, I'm sure you'll share in the gold you can get for selling such metals. You always melt it
Of course,
down and split it up even more.
adamantine is gift fit not only for selling but for creating. And I give a quick glance at Wilston to see how he's reacting to having a whole bar of adamantine in his hands.
He's going to look very giddy. He's in a candy store. Just...
How many bars make a plate of armor?
I'm not sure you'd know that. Wilson might.
Should we leave it there, finish there
Yes.
tonight?
I'll
I
leave.
was going to say, you accept your adamantium bars, 4 of them, a total of roughly 20,000 gold pieces if you were to sell them on the open market. You could probably get more for them if you were to do it. It's like an auction environment, as it's such a rare item that people would probably fight over. And you leave the throne room, ready to attend a feast tonight, where you are promised to be set upon by gifts and praise of the dwarves.
Oh, what kind of gifts?
Incredible.
So yes, thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed the session.
That was a good session.
Very fun.
Thank you for doing it, as always.
Yes, that was wonderful. I did enjoy that.
And we had everyone.
And yeah, we had everyone.
No, we don't.
We don't
Sorry,
really
Ivar.
technically, but
Forget
Yeah.
Ivar. He's still
yes.
part of the group.
He's still part of the group. He's just on a small hiatus because of issues with work, and hopefully we can fix this all eventually.
We
We can
dearly
have,
cameo.
miss him.
can have our favourite bearded man back.
I
Bring
mean,
him
my
back.
favorite bearded man is still here, but second favorite.
I didn't know you liked Michael that much.
I do.
Yes. Next week, we should all be on for next week, I think.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
Should be.
I know.
Lovely. Next week, we'll have a feast. You'll be showered upon with gold, and yeah, for anyone who's possibly still watching, join the Discord. We try and stream this every week. It doesn't happen every week, but we try. You can join. You can maybe play some games that I host. All that good stuff. Thank you for coming along, everyone. Bye.